What's up, guys? Ladies, gentlemen, Raiders, gentlemen. Sorry, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I got a new internet box, so I don't know why we're having problems. But we're straight now. Thank you for the comments in the chat for letting me know. I was sitting there yapping, and yeah, there was nothing to happen. Um, we'll wait for everybody to come back on over. Appreciate everybody. We made a little noise yesterday, you know. Pretty big move, but 1 year deal, our usual. But yeah, Devin White, Tampa Bay linebacker, piece by piece, brick by brick. We're building this thing. Like I said, I hope everyone's doing good. I don't know what we heard on that last one, so we're just gonna start it off fresh, like we didn't say anything. Hope everyone's having a safe weekend, pleasant weekend. We are Saturday morning, man. We're back. Sometimes I don't put these things on until in the morning, so forgive me, but I didn't see a lot of traffic in the morning, so we were able to get on. Yeah, so we got moves here and there. It's April, or it's almost April, so we still got some time. Still got 4 months strong. Get this thing together. So we are moving. We're definitely moving. Let's bring a definite. What's up, my brother?
How we doing, Jason? How are you, brother?
Oh man, better now. I was over there yapping for nothing. I'm thinking I'm doing my whole little presentation and nothing. I go back to my StreamYard and then it's like just spinning. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then the sound was all bad. So hopefully this is stronger and better. A little bit.
It's a big gap between us.
It is. I was experimenting with some. There we go. That's a little bit better. And as you can see, my co-star right there, a little quiet today, but
not fighting.
Yeah, no fighting today. So far, so good. But we'll see how the morning progresses. Hi, how you doing, my brother?
Not bad. I was doing some editing, just up late, doing my thing. I'm gonna light the cigarette.
Man, I'm on the same hype. I should have smoked before I started. Maybe I would have been all right. But I was like, damn, it's like nothing going good. But then, I got a new box for internet. So basically, I think I had everything else plugged in, but I forgot to plug it into the actual computer.
Right. So nothing worse than technical difficulties, especially while you're live and you're trying to figure it out on the fly.
Trying to keep it together and like what the fuck is going on while you're trying to do it live. That's how it was my first I'd say my first month of going live. It was trying to figure out where like just kind of all the kinks and everything like that. And I'm just like, goodness, can we get one show without something going wrong?
Dude, I think one of my first or second lives, I shot to nobody was in my feed. And we were talking for like a good 30 minutes until someone finally popped up and like, there's no audio. I'm like, And then there was a few other lives after that where I didn't, because you know how like in StreamYard, you like there's a different tab for comments. So like you can't see the comments if you're too busy in the tab with all the editing stuff. I didn't even see the comments. Like, where is it? I was like, oh. Rookie mistakes, but
that's kind of
on the fly.
Hell yeah, we do. Yeah, that's kind of what was going on here because I should have known too. Because when I go into the intro, that was taking a long time and it was just spinning. And then when it came back, it was already a minute in. I'm like, oh, so we're doing this. We're here.
Yeah, and you were live for like a good 20 minutes, right?
Felt like it. Felt like I was going strong, and then I look at what you said. I looked at the comments, and then I seen your on Instagram. I was like, oh shit, okay, cool. Let me redo this and get right.
Oops.
Yeah,
Ryan in the feed.
Yeah, Yeah, so I did pay my internet. I did pay my internet, guys. We're good. Yeah, man. So we got Devin White yesterday. It seems like every week we get a player. Every week it's far in between, but I like the moves. They're hand picking. They're being very selective. They're being very frugal, but efficient. So hopefully by August we have a whole team. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
Right.
hoping for.
There's
Yeah.
still a litany of holes with the roster. I mean, a lot of question marks. Even though we hired Devin White, he's still a question mark per se. I mean, how far removed is he from being a good player? I mean, he's been on two different rosters in the last couple of years after he was drafted by the Buccaneers, and then once they declined his option, he's bounced around a little bit, and now we have him in the door. High reward, low risk, but the question will be answered come preseason. Like, what does he have to offer?
Yeah, is he? It's probably a leadership kind of. I think like a leadership. He's a vet. He's seen a lot of football. There's nothing that you're gonna throw at him that he's not probably already seen already. Hopefully, health. That's probably the issue. Is probably he hasn't been as healthy as he. Because he was. I remember a few years ago we wanted him when he was out there in the market, but
We
like
should
you
have
said,
drafted him, to be honest.
yeah. Well, we had the chance. And then we chose who was that? Was that the
Lee
Cleve?
Farrell,
Yeah, Cleve Farrell.
right? It was one of a few guys we should have drafted, but hindsight's all good and great now, right?
Yeah, mine's Ed Reed. That's the one. I'm like, how the hell did they mess that up? Like,
Good morning to you, Raider Ryan.
yeah,
That's the other news that's been bouncing around with Renfro.
yeah, I was looking into that too. I mean, as desperate as we are for wide receivers right now, I wouldn't mind. I would, I'm sorry, I wouldn't mind Renfro coming back to us. I mean, for
Right.
what we have on the roster, I mean, it can definitely,
So James.
he's done enough great things, or sorry, I won't say great, but I'll say good things with this team, and got us to the playoffs on a couple of those broken
So great.
tackles.
Great things. He did some great things. I mean, he was the receptions. Is he still the receptions leader for the Raiders, or he broke
Bowers,
the record, and then I think didn't somebody else break it after
Bower,
him?
yeah, Bowers just broke it.
I'd like to respectfully disagree in saying that he wasn't great. Once upon a
Yeah,
time, he was great.
yeah.
He
Well,
was the
I
best
I, I use great
slot
because
receiver
I
for one
thought,
of them in the league
yeah,
at his best.
yeah. When he's got the ball in his hands, man, he did some crazy things. Because you look at him and you don't see what he does. Like physically, he doesn't look like a physical problem, but that dude with the ball in his hands can make some people miss. I
Right.
remember that hurdle he had at Miami. I think one of the last breaks he had, but man, he made. I mean, just for him to jump that high, because he actually hurdled somebody, But definitely, I hope he's healthy. I hope he got to. I hear he was helping his brother,
Right.
do something. But yeah, hopefully he's healthy and he had some time away from football to kind of, figure out what he wants to do. And he knows the team, But I'm ever since the beginning with this Ben Johnson thing, I'm not getting excited until I see people sign, man. Like
Right. Me
I'm
neither.
I'm not doing it no more because I'm exhausted from getting excited. You're like, okay, you're already putting the player on the roster on the depth chart where to fit him, and then he signs somewhere else. You know
He
what I mean?
hasn't
It's
even
like,
signed the dotted line. But the
yeah,
news is at least encouraging. And like it's also a green flag that the guy took some time away to step away from football. I mean, he obviously wasn't happy with the whole McDaniels regime and how it all went down. And he wasn't performing to how he was at his Raider best. And then, we released him and then he spent a year, like I said, a green flag for me, like helping his family out. I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? Getting his mind right, getting his family right, and now he's ready to jump back into football. And look, I would be all for him coming back. I would welcome with open arms. And like I made the point earlier today on Jeff's live and Ben's live, shout out to them, that even Renfro at 50% of what he was at his rate of best with us, you cannot sit there and tell me he's not better than every wide receiver we have currently on our roster, not named Jacoby Myers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm including Trey Tucker there. So, I'd like to bring him back in the door, see what he can do, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like for me, it would be another high reward, low risk signing if we did bring him back. So I hope it's the case, but we will see. I'm like you. I'm not gonna get hung up on anybody until they sign the dotted line. They're officially Raiders, right? Including Renfro.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely did. Because we'll talk about that too. The whole thing with when Devontae came, when we finally used our first and second round pick on some, in a good way. When we brought Devontae over here, he has a close to career year with Carr, and then we get rid of Carr, and then it's just I don't know. I can see why we're having kind of a hard time with free agency because of the moves we've made haven't been the smart, some of the smartest. Like sometimes it looks like we don't have a plan. We got rid of Carr without a surefire plan to replace him. It was just kind of like, oh, we'll find, just like the running back situation. Oh, we'll find a running back. We can find a quarterback. We'll find another Devontae Adams. We'll find. We got to stop losing these players. We got to start keeping the players. It's because I mean, look at that quarterback Carr. Say what you want. If he's good, bad, whatever. But he was a quarterback. He's a starting quarterback in this league. And then we went from to Jimmy, which is now a backup quarterback in the league. Was a starter, but is now backing up Matthew Stafford, or I think he's still in LA, or however that works.
My biggest problem when we moved on from these players, like Renfro, Carr, and Jacobs is another one, is that okay? If we're going to move on from him, what's the answer? Who are we replacing them with? You know what I'm saying? Like Renfro, we brought some guys in the door. You know what I'm saying? Like Jacoby Myers, he's proved to be a very good piece. One of the few good moves that they did during the McDummy era. You know what I'm saying? But that was always my problem. It's like, especially with the quarterback situation with Derek Carr. Once he moved on from him, say what you will, whatever side of the fence you're on, whether you appreciate the good things and the good times that he provided for us, or you're going to allow how it ended with him to be the full stop during his Raider tenure. Like, it's like, right, what's the answer? Here we are still scratching our heads, like trying to find an answer. I mean, we've brought Geno Smith in the door. I mean, we're still waiting for him to sign the dotted line too. But, like, that was always my issue is like, well, what's the answer? Again, running back room, you just touched on it before. We really, not me. I never thought that was going to work out. And unfortunately, it was one of those things that, like, I don't like to be right about things that are detrimental to my Raiders, but I didn't, in my wildest dreams, like, as much as I wasn't confident in it, like, did I think that it would turn out to be the worst running back room in the league and the worst we've had in 35 plus years? You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that all changes now.
Yeah, it was a trend because, like, me and you have talked about this too. Like, tight end was one of our staples for years,
right?
And that struggled the last couple, last past years. But besides this year,
when we moved on from Waller, we struggled when we drafted Michael Mayer, which was at the time a right move on paper. But that first year where we had Michael Mayer and those other guys, I can't even remember the names. Didn't work out, and that was the first year where we've had a tight end room where it was like very underwhelming. And salute to you, Lecky, I see in the building, and everyone else has just joined. But thank Christ, like we did find an answer in Brock Bowers. So
yeah. So so tight end we're set, punter we're set, kicker. I think we definitely need to start kicking tires around the league about kicker.
Really?
Well, just the last couple of years for Crossing has been a little spotty. So, we need to at least look at it. Just, we can always upgrade. You know what I mean?
He's had his moments on the downside. Yeah. More than like usual last season, but like he's still like more than not Mr. Consistent. Like I mean, he had some bad games last season, but like he's still up there as one of the elite kickers in the league. So I think we're okay there. But
Yeah,
there's still far more glaring issues with the roster that, like, we're going to try and address via the draft, but unless we get answers, the right answers we're looking for, instead of them still being question marks with the roster as it still stands, if that makes sense. Salute to you, Master User Luke. I, for one, I'm expecting this to be a transitional year. I'm making peace. I'm not expecting this team to win enough games to be competitive force to be a playoff contender. Like, I don't know, man. It's just wishful thinking for me. If it happens, cool. But buckle up. This might be a season where we may only win like between 5 to 7 games. And for me, like it's not okay, but at least if we're trending in the right direction, that there's hope for the future, and we know where we stand by season end, and we address that right moving forward, then cool.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think we should have got all this stuff situated with the line and everything last year, because we shouldn't have been entering this season. You know what I mean? Like figuring out, okay, we need to fix this line. No, while we were losing 10 straight, that's when we should have been bringing players in to fix the line, because we seen this. The season was already over, so we shouldn't be doing this now. We should have been doing that when we were out of playoff contention. Then we should have been looking at players to fix this line, so we enter the season with a secure line, because I thought they were going to go heavy in free agency, really fixing, they added a guard, Kappa. A lot of people were mixed about it. And even Spytech said that he's a starting guard. I think that's just in case we don't do anything, else, but it's kind of crazy because like a lot of us thought, it's just a piece for, depth and stuff like that. But then if we're going into, if that's our starting guard, I mean, it better than Cody White Claw, White Tip. No,
Right. Well, look, like that, we did address it via the draft last season with bringing some young guys in the door with JPJ and DJ Glaze was a huge surprise. I mean, we expected JPJ and we still do expect big things, and it was very encouraging his first season as a rookie. I mean, he looks like he's going to be a core piece for our offensive line moving forward. DJ Glaze, a very surprising play and pick. Like, I mean, we expected him to be a developmental rotational guy, and this is a guy who secured that starting spot. And I've highlighted this a few times. Like, he outplayed like a lot of other guys we've drafted with higher draft capital at either left or right tackle come year one. And for us to have a young guy in the door to secure that right tackle spot for the now, I mean, he's still got to sustain like that level of play moving forward. Something we haven't had. Like, I mean, we've struggled at right tackle even when we had like one of the better offensive lines in the game for the longest time now. So, like, it's not all doom and gloom. I believe with the offensive line, like the interior could be better. I mean, we're gonna need to find a guard, maybe 2 via the draft. And I think we do well when it comes to drafting interior pieces, especially in those middle rounds. So I think that can be a point of attack in addressing that via the draft. But yeah, look, like we'll see. Colton Miller, like, he's getting older. He had a down year, and that comes with age. But like he was performing better towards the last third of last season. So, he's not all the way terrible. Yeah, like he may still have more to give for another season or two, while we look for the young guy that we can groom to take over him at left tackle.
definitely. Like I know there was talks about them moving Glaze to guard if they bring, I forgot who they were, if it was Membu or whoever they tried to bring in at tackle. Excuse me. But I just,
Is that
if
really
he's
the right
well,
move though?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if he's doing good at right tackle, leave him at right tackle, and then just find a. There's some good guards. There's this guy Zabel. There's a guy named I think it's Ratledge. I like those guys. They're big dudes. Um, but it's kind of like it's a crowded second round where if the first. I feel like there's more talent in the damn second round than there is really in the first. Because it's so when we do all these mocks and stuff like that, and then when we get to the second, it's everybody we love, and it's like you can only pick one. You know what I mean? So I would rather trade back a couple times with the six and stack some more seconds as thirds and do damage. Get started, because your first three picks you want starters, first, second, third, hopefully fourth. We pretty much did a good job of that last draft. So if we can, because Ted, I like T Mac, but at 6 that is rich. Genty's a little rich at 6, but somebody's gonna want to move up, and we have to capitalize because it's like we have bigger needs. One player is not going to change our season. It's not going to take us to a 10-win season. We need help, so we need to stack because, like you said, we have holes. So I mean,
a lot of holes.
Yeah. So we need to. I would move back because I mean, there's more benefits in moving back. If we can get more picks in the second, we could double up on running back. We could double up on our wide receivers, and then we're stacked for years. Right there. We took care of it all in this draft, and then the rest defense. We'll just go defense for everything else. But we helped our offense out. If that's why I want to see what this quarterback situation with Geno is, because it's hard to move forward when we don't know if he's here for 3-4 years or is he just a rental for now. I want to just see what the contract looks like before we can make plans around, because are we building around him for years or are we building just the best team for this year while he's here? Because it's kind of taking a while.
I mean, you're talking about like acquiring more picks. We currently have, from my understanding, we have 9 picks, including the 2 compensatory picks that I believe we got. Salute to We the People. So, we've got plenty of ammunition there to get it right. Like even if we don't like trade down, I mean, we could even try and package some picks to trade up. But whatever. Like I'm not gonna talk about hypothetical situations, this and that. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
like I keep saying it like year in and year out, last 2 years, and I guess I feel the same way now. Like this draft class is going to be very important, especially since it's a new regime. For I believe it's going to dictate our future for the next 3-4 years. Because like the last couple of draft classes before last year's one, like the McDaniel's draft classes, I mean, we're still waiting on guys to emerge. You know what I'm saying, and really be core pieces of this team. I mean, like who of those 2 draft classes that like from 2022 and 2023 are core pieces of the team?
Parnum, but
Parham, Bennett, who I like.
I kind of am
Trey
up
Tucker,
in the
spot
air on
guy.
Parnum though. Like Parnum gets kind of pushed around sometimes too, but I'm still not, like decided, but I want to see him, hopefully step up this year. But yeah, that's about it though. Parnum,
well, Bennett, Jacorian Bennett was a pleasant
yeah.
surprise last year. I hope he can build up on that, and I don't know, like I mean, if he can be the number 1 guy, like and usurp that role, like I mean, if he keeps trending upwards, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. He would definitely exceeded my expectation how he played last season.
Yeah.
But like back to my point, like it's just it hurts us when we're still waiting 2-3 years down the line, and like that's the best of the bunch from 2 draft class we had where 2023 we traded away that first 2 for no, it was 2022 for Devontae Adams, but 2023 when we had 9-10 picks or however many, and like the first 3 draft picks like so far have been very underwhelming. That's where it hurts us, you know what I'm saying? And we're still waiting for like Tyree, Michael Mayer, Byron Young's not even on our roster. We've already talked about how many times like we drafted the wrong Byron Young, and go figure, the Byron Young that got taken after we took the Byron Young who didn't even last the season well, lasted one season, got beaten up by Matthew Butler, another guy who struggles to get on the field. The Byron Young that went to the Rams after the Byron Young we chose is what? A Pro Bowler? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I was going to make that point after you. Because I was like, there's a reason I don't know Byron or Brian Young, whichever Young we had on the team. I still couldn't figure out his name because,
he's not even on our team anymore.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It was no impact whatsoever. So
zero.
All the Whites, the Zamir Whites, the Wilsons, like you said, we're still, and are hanging around. We'll play this year, Right. I hope Zamir figures it out. I hope somehow, some way he's the third back.
I hope he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice too, but people are trying to say that, he has to be used somehow, but
why?
I don't know.
Why?
I put him at fullback. That's where I'd put him. He likes
fullback.
He likes running into people.
He likes to turn. Oh my god.
He likes to run into people. So hey,
are you really gonna do this to me?
I mean, he can't play running back,
So you mean to tell me we're gonna waste a roster spot turning Zamir White, a failed running back,
that's saving
into a project player?
That's saving a roster spot because we're wasting him by keeping him as running back.
They cut him.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to do that because he's on a rookie.
Why?
Because he's on a rookie contract. It's like
I just talked about Byron Young. He was cut one season deep, and you mean to tell me that we can't cut Zamir White, a guy who was picked in a later round, I believe, than Byron Young, who's a failed running back who ran 2.8 yards per carry, more fumbles than he has touchdowns. You want to keep this cat around to turn him into a project player, into a project position?
I would have cut him last year. I wouldn't even have had him on the roster.
I'm talking about the now Raider Nation, Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, you've never heard me say that Zamir White was going to be anything in the league. You can go to any of my shows and say,
but you're saying to turn him into. You're saying to keep him and turn him into a fullback.
They're keeping him. So if he's going to stay on the roster,
they're shopping him around.
I don't want. Who's going to want Zamir White?
Then cut him.
I would cut him, but I'm not in control of the team. They want to keep him for some dumb reason.
Get him out of here. We're just waiting for the draft.
So
he has one chance to compete in preseason, and if he cannot beat the rookies, the undrafted free agents, even Sincere friggin' McCormick, then there's nothing more to discuss. Quite frankly, like I keep saying, there is nothing more to discuss than 2.8 yards per carry, more fumbles than touchdowns. Like,
I hope
he's. See you later, alligator. Get the fuck out of here.
I hope he's gone too, and I hope this regime sees that because the last ones did not. Because it's not what we need as a back.
And that is most definitely the last. I mean, I'm sorry, Red Nation. I love you, man, but turning Zamir White into a fullback is one of the worst takes. And I know it's not just your take.
Well, it was more of a joke, but I mean, because he runs, he can't run through holes, so he runs into people. So I say,
get him out of here.
He can block it. I guess he'll be a better blocker than a running back. So because all those muscles, all that working out, all he's gonna do is work out, show all the muscles, all the Instagram pictures, and everyone's going, oh my God, he's gonna be beat, and then he's not gonna do nothing.
Just get him out of here.
Yeah, I hope they do. Like I said, it's a new regime, so hopefully they see it and then they don't. Nice.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. And then, we've always talked about Zamir as being, worthless. So we know, but he's not going to be our starting running back. So, that's not even
he doesn't even deserve a roster spot unless he's fighting for. If he makes it to preseason, he's fighting for his Raider life. Yeah. I honestly, I personally don't want to see him take another snap as a Raider.
No,
but we will see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no confidence in Zamir White, and I most definitely do not want him wasting a roster spot to turn him into a project player, into a project position. If we need a fullback, just get a fullback that plays fullback. Not try and develop this guy to become a fullback. Fuck that. Get him out of here.
Yeah. I think the day of the fullback for us is probably over because we need more pieces.
Right.
Yeah, even though like the wide receiver, like I keep asking for them to do, another free agent, but everyone's going to the Patriots. That's just the place to go.
Who do we have at wide receiver? Like at the top of your dome, we've got Jacoby Myers,
Jacoby,
we got
Tucker,
Trey Tucker, who's
Ramel, Keaton.
uh, Christian Wilkins,
Oh,
Christian Wilkinson.
I was gonna say, you did better than me because after Trey Tucker, it gets like
A
even
whole bunch of
Ramel. Like
UDFAs from last year.
yeah, so that's why I'm like I wanted them to go for like a Diggs or something because at least that would give Jacoby some help. That would give him so it's not double teamed over. You would have to really double team probably Diggs if he comes back healthy, but he's a Patriot now, and so is Lockett. Lockett went to the Patriots. Oh, so they're building something nice over there.
Yeah, like we're the people. I don't think Trey Tucker's weak, but like the guy is a spot guy. I don't want to see him as that number 2 outside guy. I mean, the dude, like, just from the eye test, like every time I saw that guy compete for a contested catch, he always lost, and sometimes the other team were intercepting on him, just out jumping him, out catching him well, just doing enough to either disrupt it or cause an interception. Like he's just, unless he gets open, like it's just, yeah. No, I agree. We're the people. That's exactly what I said. Like he loses every contested catch. Like what he is good at is, he does have that speed to cause separation. When he does get separation, he does like catch the ball in spots and he does make some plays here and there. But like for me, he's a spot guy. He's not a Hunter Renfro. He's not a Jacoby Ford, who was another speedster from back in the day. But Jacoby Ford, if you remember, he was good in the contest from time to time. So
yeah,
we've
always had these like just not, I always think of like the Justin Farguses, the just the different players we've had. They're not these superstars, but they've shined for us. Like we talk about the Johnny Lee Higgins and all these guys. What's the other guy?
The kick return.
Yeah, like just guys that just for us mean so much to us because they're Raiders and they, sometimes they pull off wins for us that we weren't supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like that means a lot to us as Raider fans, man. Right. Like it doesn't have to be, but I just feel like Jacoby, we keep saying Bowers, but we can't have Bowers being our number one, like I know
he's a number 1 receiving target. But I'm just talking specifically wide receiver room. Like I'm right there with you. Outside of Jacoby Myers, it's very weak. Probably the weakest it's been in a long time.
Yeah, there's some, me and my friend, we go back and forth on T-Mac. I like just his, because he talks about separation. I'm like, but the guy can get up and the guy can, snatch. It's just an element we don't have. Like you said, we have Tucker, shorter receiver. Yeah, he's quick, but it's easier for the quarterback if you give him bigger targets. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to kind of, because you want to be able to throw the ball up, not try to angle it down for your receiver because he's smaller. And plus the offensive line, it's better for you to throw up and then getting your stuff batted down. You know what I mean? These guys are getting better, they're getting faster, they can jump higher. So that's why when they were talking about Dylan Gabriel, I was like, how's that going to work? He's getting his stuff batted down in college. So, like, how's that going to work in the NFL? He was like 5'9", and then watch later on we draft him too, and then I have to get behind.
Well, it's not outside of the realm of like finding like a competent enough like number 2 if we look between rounds 3 to 5. I mean, remember Denarius Moore? He was round 4, round 5 guy back in the day. Hunter ran for a recent memory. We got him round 5. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we can find guys at later points in the draft. I prefer to go other areas unless there's. I mean, I don't know my college players too well. Like, I don't know if these guys that we the people is mentioning in the chat feed. Guys who are going to be taken or earmarked to go rounds 1 or 2, but like preferably I wouldn't want to go there unless there's a guy that's definitely worthy of said pick. Like there's other areas that I think are like I would rather or prefer to address, but BPA, whatever. I like if it's a wide receiver, so be it.
I like so there's a couple I like. I like, no order, nothing like that, but these are ones that I would if we get these guys on the team, I would definitely be happy. Trey Harris is definitely one of them too. But I would say Jaden Higgins from Iowa State, definitely one that I would like on this team. Dude's got big hands, bro. Like when you see him catch the ball just disappears. It's crazy. And he's like I always say, he's the type that he goes back to the quarterback. You know what I mean? He's not gonna just keep running away. He's gonna go to the ball, and I like that. Um, I like Burden too for the speed, but I like Matthew Golden. I think he's one of the smoothest. Because like when he makes his moves, there's no, it's like smooth, just butter smooth. So, Savion Williams, big target. I like him. That's why I like Higgins too, 6'4", big target. I just help the quarterback out. Let him see the target.
But there's we got holes at wide receiver, running back. I mean, we need you could even say quarterback, or the offense. Like, there's a lot of holes there. Interior, so like it looks like they're going to try address for the future via the draft. But like, that's why I said like this could be a transitional year, because it's like it's unfair to expect that like with all the amount of holes we still have post free agency, that we're going to address that in the draft, and are we going to hit it so far out of the ballpark with the draft that like these holes that we're talking about are going to be addressed, and we're going to be able to make an impact this season enough to push for a playoff berth. I still think that year one, that's a bridge too far. I think, again, this is going to be a transitional year. If it's any more than that, I'm going to be happy. Like, I want us to be successful sooner rather than later, but I'm making peace with the fact that this may take some time. And I'm willing to give them that as long as we're trending in the right direction. There's hope for the future.
Yeah, usually I'm every year, we're going to the playoffs. It's possible because every year you feel like it should at least start out even. Like you have a fair chance. And these last few years haven't. I mean, I believed we had a chance, but I realized, when it was time that it, wasn't going to happen. When we were tearing off 10 straight, I figured we weren't going to make the playoffs. So, but it was crazy. Like just we lose more good players than we keep. And it seems like we're trending worse every year. Like we keep Max, but then we lose Spillane, we lose Nate, we lose. It's like, yeah, we could get better, but we're not. We're slowly adding pieces, but we're not.
But at the end of the day, like, look, I hated to see a lot of these guys that perform well for us go, like Spillane. Thank you for your services. Hobbs, thank you for your services. Kalavon Chason's a guy I really wanted to keep.
Yeah,
he's gone too. But at the same time, remember, how many games did we win last season?
True that.
4, 5.
I wish.
Am I going to cry spilt milk over losing players that were a part of a team that only won 4 or 5 games? Sucks to see him go. No, like, whatever.
Yeah, they
turn the page, start again. Shit.
Yeah, they cleaned house. Like it was, and it's fresh starts are good, but it's like, man, how many times are we gonna start fresh?
Well, we gotta start. We gotta do it the right way. You know what I mean? It's better to start to try and do it the right way. And I'm hoping it is the right way. I'm not gonna say, yes, we're trending in the right direction. No, I'm gonna reserve judgment, stay reserved, and wait to see how it all shakes out. But like, here we are. We've pressed the reset button. We've hired a whole bunch of new coaches. We've retained our old defensive coordinator. We still kept some guys in the door. Like we signed like Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz. I'm glad to see him come back and hopefully show more of the same form that he did towards the end of 2023. But let's just rebuild the right way. And I guess it starts now, and it's going to be hopefully starting with the draft. I hope we hit it out of the ballpark with the draft. I really do.
See, and I know it's for both of us, it's the PTSD from years and years of us not knowing what the hell we're doing. And I feel like we do have people in place that have enough football knowledge to get the right pieces. They know what they want. You see how they're selecting, like Chin, and even with Devin White, there's something that they want. They're going for a certain caliber of person. Like even the guy we got to replace Blaine or whatever.
Landon Roberts.
Yeah, I like I like his tape, man. I just like the player that he is. He puts his body, he doesn't.
Did you watch his presser?
Yes, I did. Yes.
I kept saying, like, do not be surprised, and salute to you, get Schlapp, I see in the feed. Do not be surprised if you see him with a captain's logo on his chest, like captain's patch. That the way he spoke and his attitude, no nonsense, no bullshit, all football. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you want from a guy who's a veteran. And hopefully that trickles down to these young players. Like, just do your thing in order to try and get better, one step at a time. You know what I mean? Like, cut the bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't want to see these Damon Arnett's or these other cats that just come here and fuck around, like,
yeah,
just be about it.
Yeah, that's why I like it. I like the hand picking. It's of course I want things to happen now, but I can see what's being put in the pot. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, at least they're getting guys that they're thumpers. I like that. The people that they're getting are hitters. So let's trust we'll revisit in a month and see kind of, are we still at the same place or have we added? And it might look a little better. We could make a trade or something, because like you said, we have a lot of picks, but a lot of our picks are like, we have those 3 picks in the 6, and it'll be slim pickings by then. So that's why I'm hoping we stack kind of front heavy and get the best talent there, because like this is not really a deep draft where you're gonna, there'll probably be sleepers in the 6th and 7th, but I feel like all the talents like in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th is gonna be like the scraping. Well, I say 5th might be scraping the pot, but just it'll be some good picking. A lot. Watch, you'll see a lot of trading up back into that 2nd round, trying to trying to get some, because there's a lot of good quality pick, because that dude Zabel's in the 2nd round, Henderson's in the 2nd round, Dart could be one of those players that's kind of right there borderline, 2nd round,
right,
somewhere in there. So someone's gonna be trying to make a move because it's there.
I'd be all about it if we got him in the 2nd round. Like, I'd be happy with that.
That would be
raw. We'll see.
Because imagine we go Genty, Dart, and then we get like, hopefully Trey Harris is there in early 3rd or something like that, and we're good. That's something to build off. Then next year, add to it and stack it up. Because like you said, if it depends on how they fill this team off, because remember our like the 02 teams were a lot of veteran players that were kind of just plays together.
We had 40-year-old wide receivers who were still, those guys are all-time greats. So, they're the exceptions to the rule when they're as great as what they were.
Yeah. Dang, could have been close when we had Devontae and Jacoby. Could have been something special.
Right. But, that's history.
Yeah.
Let's just work out what we're doing for the now.
Yeah. And with the quarterback, like I said, I want them to sign this deal or whatever it is, but maybe maybe he doesn't want to lock it in for some reason, or just, I don't know, something's, but I like what he brings to the table. I feel like he definitely is an upgrade of everything we had on the roster. That's what makes the 6th pick interesting, because if Sanders does fall, oh, that's funny. I landed on that one too. Yeah, if he does fall, do you take him?
Look, I've gone on record to say quite a few times, if this organization feels like Sanders, and I'm not just Sanders, any of these quarterbacks are the guy that's going to give us a good chance that, like, in time, or maybe even more sooner than that, like, he's the guy who can be our guy at quarterback at the most important position in football. You know what I'm saying? Like, something that's been unstable since, Derek Carr left us, and has the ceiling to take us to heights we just haven't had for a long time. Then it's like I keep saying, no pick is overreaching if they truly believe that's the guy. You know what I'm saying? And not just a quarterback who has a ceiling that, he can be a decent enough guy for a minute, or just like a guy who can start in a pinch, who my gut and my heart tells me that's what Aiden O'Connell is. I'm not saying he's all the way bad, but like, I don't feel like his ceiling's as high as maybe some of these other cats that we could draft. But if that's the direction we go with pick 6, I'm going to be with it. Like, I'm going to get behind him, or all these players. Like, I'm going to get, but particularly if we do bring a quarterback in, and I've said it quite a few times on record, like, I feel like the time is now. Like, let's swing for a quarterback. Don't overreach for one, but like I said, like, if there's a guy that's there that they believe can be the face of the franchise, then no pick is overreaching. And let's just take a shot, like round 1, round 2, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't let the fear of what happened with Jamarcus Russell, like, hold us back from at least trying. Because, like, Jamarcus Russell was the last time we tried to swing early, other than Derek Carr, like a round 2 guy in the draft for a quarterback. And that was nearly 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It was a long time.
We got to let that go.
Yeah.
I feel like if he is there, because, I see either Mason Graham, Shador, or Genty being the pick.
Right.
Because, like, if the quarterback is there, I feel like if he falls to us, we have to. I mean, yeah, we could go dark, we could go, but I feel like if we don't, and then say, like, down the road he becomes, that's another player that we could have drafted that we didn't, that passed. So I feel like as a responsible franchise, we would have to just to do our due diligence and kicking tires to see if he's worth it. If he's not, we did our part. We do, we gave him an opportunity and didn't make it.
I guess, like, Jackson Dart, if we did by hook or crook pick him, give me a moment, man. I'll be right back.
Yeah, good. And then, like we talked about too, because Milroe gets a lot of talk too. Like, Milroe gets a lot of, I do like his speed, and I think that's an element. They're saying that, I was talking to my friend. He's saying that pretty much Pete could work with him. I was bringing up Milroe because I've heard that talk too. That Milroe, and I do love the speed. They're giving him the Lamar Jackson comps and stuff like that. And I'm hoping, hope to hell it is. But, my years of being a Raider fan have kind of jaded me a little bit. So I have to see it to believe it.
Right. I was just going to say, just real quickly, like, there's not really one prospect that's range to go in the top 10 that if we picked him at 6, I wouldn't be happy with. Like, it's like, I'd be okay with any of them. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of them are areas of need and would address and hopefully shores up that position for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only player I could see us, like, doing a left field kind of pick. And like I said, if they truly believe this is the guy that can take them to heights we haven't seen at the quarterback position for a long time, then I guess it's not an overreach. It's Jackson Dart. But I don't believe that's going to happen. But if it does happen, I'm going to trust that the coaching staff and the regime, like, they have done their evaluations to the point where they believe, like, we can take him. We have to take him in that top 6 range. But, like, as long as it's not like an Alex Leatherwood type pick, you know what I'm saying? Like, just picking out this guy who's, like, he's not even close to being in range. And yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah, and I'm confident these guys will do it. They'll get the right because like I said, we got the PTSD from past drafts and stuff like that. But I really feel like they know what they're doing. They're not gonna reach. They're gonna pick the actual players that play the positions. They're not gonna turn them into different. They're not gonna turn them from a safety to a linebacker or from a quarterback to a wide receiver, or they're gonna get players that play the position, play it well, are competitors, and want to win.
You mentioned Genty before, and that was something that was quite heavily debated today. I was on Raider Ben's channel earlier.
Mhm.
Well, it was last night for you, this morning for me. Genty, are you on board on the Genty train, or is not the direction you would like to go at that 6
I
pick?
I mean, I like my personal favorites. Like Genty's cool. A lot of I kind of have been a little bit more focused on Henderson and Judkins from Ohio State. Those are just I don't know. I just like I if we could get that combo, that would be nice. But Genty would be cool because we still need a two piece. We if we get Genty and then say we land Henderson, that would be lovely. Because injuries happen. So of course, if he goes down, then you know we're stuck. So that's why I said we need to double up. I love Judkins. Like I said, we the people. Henderson and Judkins are my personal favorites because I feel like Judkins is like a bigger, but he's shifty too. You know what I mean? And a Henderson reminds me
Are
of
those running backs? Are those running
yeah,
backs?
yeah.
Okay.
Those are the Ohio State backs, like
Oh,
Henderson.
right. The Thunder and Lightning from.
Yeah, those are my favorite. And I just if we could get one of them, I will be. I hope Pete and Spytech are listening because we need to add that because it reminds me of when we got Josh. I was high on Josh before the draft. I was so glad when we got him because he had the thing. He was I think the third string back, so he still had juice. You know what I mean? He wasn't. They didn't use
He
him.
didn't have the mileage like a lot of these other
Yeah,
top tier running backs that come out of college.
yeah,
Thank you, Raider Pete. I just got this solid this week.
nice. Yep, super shifty. I love we need that element again, because they can create. Say if the rush does, or if the rush does get to them, they can get out of it. They're not just stuck like Zamir, like Shamir White.
I don't give a shit. Draft two, please. I don't care
Yep.
who. I don't
Hey,
care where in the draft. Get us two running backs
yeah,
and sign a whole bunch of UDFA's and let them compete with those
yeah,
scrubs that we had last season. I'm sure. I mean, since Sincere McCormick as a shot, Dylan Lobby. I've earmarked him too. Like, if he cannot beat at least two of these cats that we bring in the door, then he can go too. Like, see you later, alligator. You know what I'm saying?
special teams or something like that. I could see lobby. I would rather lobby, than the other guy.
Well, he
I would
he needs to solidify a role. I'm sorry to cut you off. He
no, no,
needs to solidify some role of somewhat in come preseason next season. Like, if it's special teams or if it's as a scat back, because he's better than the UDFA's that come in the door. But if he cannot do the bare minimum to keep his spot on the roster, then you can bounce.
yeah, definitely. That's why, I have faith in Pete. He's gonna get the right guys in there. Tyree might not even make it. That'd be crazy. Because we've been patient, but then I don't know how patient Pete and them are gonna be with Tyree.
As low as I am on Tyree, I don't think we would get rid of him come preseason. He'd still hang around for that, to be that rotational guy. And he can do that in spots at the very least. But where I get critical with Tyree is that you don't draft in the top 10 for a rotational guy. That is unacceptable. You need to be, at the very least, starting by year 3. And okay, if we don't get that because we've got Kuntz and Crosby and Salucci Chum, I see in the building, then you better be a good rotational guy. And if he cannot even be that, then after year 3, I'm off. Yeah, you got to go.
And then if I didn't answer, so the Genty question, I really have a feeling that the Giants are gonna go Genty. They just signed the quarterback. So I'm like the only thing they really don't have because they got the guy Tyrone I forgot Tyrone something. But pretty good back. But I feel like they lost Saquon. They feel stupid for losing Saquon. And then so if they get Genty, it'll make up for that. So that's why I really see them kind of that'll be a crazy pick, but I can see them doing that though. Now that they got a quarterback now, for now.
Right. Right. And where are they picking? They're at 3, right?
Three, yeah. Yeah, because they were the ones that they were saying either Shadur, might go, but then now they signed a vet, and then they have Jameis. I think Jameis Winston too. So
look, I'm just gonna wait for the draft day and let the cards fall where they will.
Yeah, that's what sucks about day one too. It's just one pick. It's all this hype over, like one pick, and it's like 4-hour show for one player.
What's up, Chris for Raiders? Well, that's why I'm not going live for the draft. I'm gonna sit in lobby with a few of my guys, and then once the pick is about to be announced, I hit the record button. We react to the pick, specifically our pick, and then I upload it later because everybody's going live for the draft. So it's just like for me, it's you're really just going to get lost in the sauce for the most part. So react to it, record it, short and sweet, upload it later. That's going to be my plan of attack for the draft. And it worked last season. Like we did that with the picks from rounds 1 to 4, 5, and it got quite good rotation. So yeah.
AR, whatever you did last year, you do the same thing this draft again because it worked.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Just doing it the way I do it always.
And then that is true with the Giants. The Giants are getting better, And then, like I said, if they do, thank you, we the people. If they do take Genty at 3, and they got Neighbors last year, they add another couple pieces here, and they're pretty competitive team again. So we can, and my point was that we could do the same thing. If we do this draft right, we'll be, we can make ourselves competitive again.
Right. We've got 9 picks. So as it stands, like give or take, like if we trade up or we trade down. So let's just get it right. Okay. I'd like to see another 2014 draft class type deal. That would be amazing. Or even like last season, like where we hit it out of the ballpark with our first 3 picks. Like these other guys that we drafted last season, like I can live with them being developmental guys for the now. Like they still need to work out, but they get concessions for development, and they're rounds 4 to 7. So if we can get 1 or 2 rotational guys, or if they're better than that, then that's a win. But yeah, that's what I want. You know what I mean? And hopefully we can find ourselves a day dot start like we did, 2019, where say what you will about like a lot of the first round draft picks that the Gruden era acquired didn't quite pan out. But like 2019, like we found, the face of our franchise in Max Crosby. Hunter Renfrow was a stud for a minute or for a while. And Josh Jacobs, you know what I'm saying? Like those are day dot starters, game changers, and core pieces of our roster. That's what I want. Rounds 1 to 3.
Amen to that. Yeah, that's why the running back, if we go heavy, I will not be mad. If we end up with 3 in this draft, I will not be mad because that's the key. We like this year, like you said, it's probably a burn year, so we're gonna have to get this line straight, establish this running game. Everything else will fall into place after that.
Right. I mean, draft 1, draft 2, bring in 2, 3 undrafted free agents to fight it out for a roster spot. It's like I keep saying, you cannot tell me that we can't find 1 or if not 2 of these guys who can average more than 2.8 yards per carry and give me more touchdowns and fumbles. You know what I'm saying? Or even better than the other guys we had in the door who's averaging what? 3.1, 3.2. Like, I don't want none of this 3.5s or 3 point whatevers. Like, that's not good enough. And I'm sure if we draft 2 of these cats, they can give us better than that right from the jump.
Jamarcus Russell can give us more than 2.8. His big ass could probably get more than 2.8 yards a run.
Sometimes he was able to run quite well, like if you remember, like
Yeah, no,
he was deceptively elusive when he ran with the rock, but that's not what he was tasked to do. Right, he was supposed to be the
you
quarterback,
thought he
throwing
was
properly, but yeah.
you thought he was elusive. That was his belly. That was his belly just shimmering. Nah. Yeah, for me, that was the worst era since, this last debacle of a season. But that era was just, horrible.
Thanks, Chris.
There was but we did have some bright spots. But I just remember I had high expectations because, this dude, because he was not on my radar at all for quarterbacks. Jamarcus Russell was nowhere. I think after the pro day, his name started coming. Just Jamarcus, he can throw the ball,
Right.
from his knees and all. I'm like, okay, but I would just say we need a quarterback, and then like they're like the dude's big and then it's just,
Well, being the number one selection at the most important position in football, of course, you're going to have the weight of expectation on your shoulder. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for various reasons, including like most importantly, what was going on upstairs. You know what I'm saying? He had the tools in college, like he had the production in college. The guy was a freak when it came to his physical traits. He had all the tools to get it right. It just wasn't right upstairs, and like the rest is history. It just didn't pan out. But hopefully, if we go that direction again, looking at quarterback, we do more of a due diligence than we did back then, and not just measure him by what he's doing on the field, but also what's going on upstairs and what's going on in here. You know what I'm saying? Like Tom Brady, like no one could measure like how much he had in here. I mean, he went round 6 for a reason, right? And the guy went on to be the all-time GOAT.
Yeah, he's the main reason where we can't say, it doesn't really matter where you get drafted because it's
Right.
all about that, like you said, it's in here, man. Like it's that will
You,
to
you
win.
can't you can't measure in here. Although you can kind of, I guess, like teams will do better than what they were doing back then, when it comes to doing their due diligence on right, like what's going on upstairs, what's their mental health like, what is their mind makeup, so to say, like going on, like do they have what it takes to put it together, or is there enough there that was just like too many red flags, like I don't like what's going on from a mental perspective, like he might have all the tools from a physical standpoint, but like if he doesn't have it upstairs, then like we need to pass on this guy.
Yeah, that's like when I was when I was a kid, like playing ball and stuff like that. Like our coach used to always say mental toughness, and like then you didn't understand like what that
Mental
meant.
toughness, intestinal
Yeah,
fortitude.
yeah, like it's when you're down three scores, but there's time. You know what I mean? Like, and you still need to fight. Like it's being able to put that to the side, ignore it. Like, okay, we just need let's just start with one. Let's get one out the way, and then
Right.
just build. It's just you can't get defeated because once you quit on yourself, it's over.
Right.
So
Minshew was a glaring example of that last season because I mean, before he came to us, he wasn't all the way totally terrible. And at the start of the season last year, like he wasn't. I mean, he wasn't good or great, but he wasn't like. I mean, he had that Ravens game where he started terrible, but then he was able to turn it around. And he actually finished strong, but then after that, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Jimmy Garoppolo is another example of that. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse, like to the point where their morale led to their poor play. And yeah,
yeah,
like to your point, like we need to find someone who, all right, if the chips are down and it's not working out, like you have what it takes to fight your way out.
yeah, it's because with I say the last spunky. I'm trying to think of the last spunky quarterback we had. Fiery kind of damn. because I know.
Yeah, having to think.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I know Gannon was for sure fiery, but I'm thinking I know we had somebody. Carson Palmer was pretty fiery too.
Yeah,
But
but
it,
I wasn't a fan of what he did in his time as a Raider. I didn't think he did
yeah,
the right guy.
we always said Carson
He wasn't
Palmer.
terrible, but he wasn't.
He's good for 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's gonna definitely he's gonna definitely throw.
It was more captain check down for me, but at the same time, like the full season he had with us, like we weren't quite in a good state of affairs per se, and the talent around him wasn't like what it was back. 2011 we had some game breakers and some game changes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's history again.
Yeah, we should have got Chad Johnson instead. That probably would have been better.
He was going by Chad Ochocinco back then, right?
Yeah, I liked Chad, man. Chad was really underrated as a wide receiver. That dude was special. Like he was a one-on-one specialist. Like he could definitely get open, and he would talk so much smack. Like I remember he used to have his board up, and he would talk how many catches he would get on the next guy, and then how he abused him. He would check him off the list, whatever DB he went against. He's like, yep, took care of him. Next week I'm gonna take care of this turkey right here. Like he was funny, and then just I hate his career kind of ended the way it did, but I'm glad he kind of bounced back with the podcast and stuff like that with Shannon.
I like Ochocinco, but like that was part of the reason why Carson Palmer wanted out of the Bengals was the whole shenanigans that were going on between him and remember was it Terrell Owens who went there, and it was like him and Ochocinco, and Carson Palmer was just fed up with the whole ordeal with the diva mentality over there. She's like, "No, just get me out of here. I'll go to Oakland. I don't care."
He's gonna get me out of here.
Right.
Yeah, he had him, and then I think they had who's Mazada? Was that
Who's your mama?
Yeah, who's your mama?
Yeah. He came over to us like in 2011, but he didn't do much of anything. Like he had like maybe 100 yards or something like that receiving. So
yeah, one of those 1-year deals. I think did we have him 2 years?
It's crazy because my guy, shout out to Millennial Raider, like he had him as one of his Mount Rushmore wide receivers in the last millennium, and I'm like, TJ Masada didn't really do squat for us as a Raider. I mean, he did some things as a Bengal, but as a Raider, like I mean, he had like little over 100 yards. Like, how can he be in a top 4 wide receiver in the last 20 years? Like.
That's crazy. You reminded me that he was even on the team. I forgot that.
TJ Hoosh?
Yeah, I forgot about that. We got the wrong Bengal. We should have got Chad.
No, he wouldn't. Like I said, that's the reason why Palmer wanted out of there. So it wasn't going to happen when we traded for Palmer, and then we're going to bring over one of the reasons why he wanted out of his old team.
Yeah. What do you think the thing is with Geno in this contract? Like, why it's taking so long? And then no presser, no,
I'm not tripping. Whatever. Just sort it out. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Just be patient. I'm not tripping.
Usually when we talk about this stuff, then the next day, he signs us a 7-year, 300.
Whatever. Look, figure it out. Get it done. Let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah, because it kind of matters. I want this definitely done before the draft because then we'll see, do we need to invest in that quarterback, that first pick, or do we have him locked in and now we can just add weapons? Because that would be the smart thing. If we got him here, let's lock him in. We've took chances with worse players, so let's lock him in and build around him.
Right. Well, at least with Geno Smith, he's a guy whose floor is going to be like, he's not going to be all the way terrible, or he shouldn't be anyway. He can be at least competent enough. Hey, what's going on, Chris Forrest?
Good morning and good evening.
Good midnight.
Yeah, I know. Good evening and good morning to Jason. So I just woke up a few minutes.
I'm not buena.
It's all good. Yeah, I'm still waking up myself.
Oh man. That's AR. I want to say something to you. I just put in a post. I appreciate your passion Not only you're smart, you investigate the Raiders like most people don't. They just look at the team. You are one of the most passionate fans I ever met,
Thank you,
and I
man.
appreciate that. Especially when man come from down under. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Chris.
that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
My man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
You should.
My man.
He must have heard our talk.
Raiders.
He
No,
must
I
have,
heard. Well, he been on our live a couple of times, and it was one live a couple. You remember this last week? He was like passionate, like he was gonna throw through the screen.
hey,
I'm like,
if you mention Zamir White, that's enough.
no, I
We
don't.
just
I
got
don't
into it
want
before. I don't know if you heard that.
I don't want to talk about the Renegade because I said the Renegade
Look,
boy.
man.
It's on. That's it. We're going full ballistic.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sometimes there's certain things that I get passionate about. Like, look, that's just, I guess, part of what I bring to the table, or try to bring to the table when it comes to this YouTube game. Because I guess, like, you know, for all of us, there's got to be something about you that makes you unique and makes people want to tune into you, whether they like what you say or they don't. Like, you got to bring something to the table, and I can only be me, right? And you know, I don't get it right all the time. I try to bring reason to how I feel with whatever opinion I have, but you know, like I'm a passionate guy, and then sometimes it comes out for better and for worse.
Well, you know, the thing is, you can tell a true Raider fan what the passion they have for the team. You know, you got your everyday fan, football fan. Like, I like the Raiders, and then when everything's over, said and done, and they lost. They suck. No, they're not. But they don't see the inner thing of what's going on with the Raiders like you do, and Jason and the rest of these, some of these content creators, not all of them. I'm not going to blame them all because I know, like I said, I refuse to get into a war with them. But you know, it's just the you know, the passion that you have for them. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Chris.
You know what's crazy is we've made the playoffs like a couple times in these last, you know, was that 17 and then 21.
2016 and 2020.
2020.
Yeah, and then 21.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it feels like we haven't won in 30 damn, you know, it's like when we go, it's like surprising. And how we made it that year in 21, we beat some teams, we beat some good teams, and we surprised some people. Like we started off 3-0. We have to start fast. That's the one thing. I don't know what it is. These last few years we've been starting so slow, and it's we've been, you know, that's why the quarterback thing, I want Gino to kind of be situated, because it's so hard when you still feel like you need quarterback. You still, we still need a quarterback. You know, it's like, damn, like do we or do we not? Because we just traded for this dude. So do we still need a quarterback? Do we not? I thought we were good. You know, I thought that was already situated. So that's why I kind of want this thing to get signed so we can know, because in entering the draft, it would be easier to know, do we need another quarterback? Do we need to start getting our guy? I mean, of course, we always do, but that's kind of a waste of a pick. I feel like if we already have a quarterback that's here for 3-4 years, then, you know, we could get someone to, you know, get behind them, but we need to build around the quarterback that is playing with us right now. You know, we can't build around a person that's not even on the team yet. You know what I mean? So my thing is building around Gino.
Well, here's the thing. Pete Carroll already said his press conference. I'm still waking up. Press conference that he's gonna build around a quarterback. He does that before. He did it before. Mm-hmm. He builds a solid defense. He makes sure that, okay, if we don't going to score 24 points, then you guys want to score 15, 16, 14. That's all you get. That's what he's building. As far as Geno Smith, the contract, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We don't know. I don't think one guy pointed out to me, he said the Raiders might not extend that contract because that is a Seattle Seahawks contract that they gave him. You get me?
Yeah.
So I might let that contract play out and sign to a different contract, because the Seattle contract has all kind of incentives and all that stuff. Raiders might know, I'm not giving you another $2 million for throwing 10, 15-yard passes. No. You know, I don't know what's in the contract, but they might be. Let's say, you know what, Willis, you play this contract out, and then we'll sign to a new one. Because you didn't hear anything from Gino's camp yet about the contract negotiations going back. I've never heard anything. AR, have you?
That's a crazy question.
Have you heard anything? Just kind of only thing you hear is the content creators and the fans like, extension. They might not want to send that contract. They might want a whole brand new contract.
I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking. And to be honest, like that. Sorry, Jason. And if the worst case scenario, they don't get a deal sorted, I'm not going to feel like the sky is falling. I mean, I'm still going to be in a wait and see mode anyway with our quarterback situation, whether we draft one or whether we don't, or whether Gino can be competent enough. Sorry, man, I'll be right back.
No, you're good. Now, just know they're messing up our mock drafts, though. We need to get this contract signed so our mock drafts go good, man. It's like that's what it's really about. My mock draft. I'm trying to get my mock drafts to perfection.
That's why I do on mock drafts. I tried to do on Wednesday. I let the fans pick. I said I'm not gonna pick anything because I tried before. I never was a mock draft person. I never, in the years I've been a fan, I never was a mock.
Hey, Chris, how many mock drafts have you done this off season since this is your freshman YouTube season, so to say?
None.
How many have you done?
I did 2 fans only mock drafts where their fans pick it. I haven't done none. I mean,
haven't done any?
With Jeff.
I swear you've been on like Jeff's panel like at least 6-7 times when he does a mock draft of what, like every 2 shows?
Well, yeah, he's doing mock draft. I'm not doing that. He's doing mock draft. I said, okay, that's good. But you know, I'm not really a mock draft person. That's why I did a show for like 2 weeks. Let you guys pick them. I don't believe in that mock draft because they really don't mean nothing. Really,
like after certain rounds, it doesn't. You know, it's unpredictable. You know, the first couple rounds are kind of close. But, you know, my thing is I just play around with just the possibilities because, you know, we're not getting none of these players that we're mock drafting because everybody else wants these damn players too. You know, we forget that, yeah, we like these players too, but so does the other 31 teams too. You know, they like these guys too. So, you know, we just got to get the best ones because everyone has different fits. Like everyone doesn't have our needs, which, you know, we have a bunch of needs. But everyone needs different stuff. So, you know, everyone's going to be looking for a certain thing. And we just have to nail the things that we need, those top.
And that's the thing, Jason. That's why I put in the chat. I don't know if you posted it now. I think the Raiders are using Gentry as a bargaining chip to make trades. You know why I say this? Okay, AR, you know some history of the Raiders. Jason, you know some history of the Raiders. When's the last time you see the Raiders actually promoting a one guy? I mean, promoting them out there. Oh, yeah, we like him. Yeah, he did good. Yeah. I really haven't seen that. That's all the years I've seen the Raiders. They don't promote. Maybe now, a couple of them back in history, but
they usually keep it.
They really push Gentry to the Raiders.
Could it be Jamarcus? Were they promoting?
Yeah, Jamarcus was one of them. Jamarcus was one of them. Yeah, there's a couple, but mostly. They don't really promote the players they like. They don't go out. The Raiders are a very secretive organization. They don't say who they want. Why are they saying that?
I mean, they visited Jacobs, if I'm not mistaken, but like they weren't promoting that. Like, I mean, the pick made sense, but they weren't overly promoting that they were going to take him. I mean, even the great Khalil Mack, they said nada about Khalil Mack, and we took him.
Exactly.
Even Brock Bowers.
Amari Cooper.
Okay. They had a 30 visits, and they were like, these guys are going to visit us. I don't mean they're going to pick them. But
Brock Bowers.
If you look at why they promote Gentry so much, I mean, not the organization is presenting him, not the fans, not the media. Well, the media too, and the fans. So my conspiracy theory is that the Raiders are promoting Gentry. We're going to take him. Who wants him after they get their 6 pick? If somebody said, hey, are you going to pick Gentry? Yes. Okay, I want to trade for him. What do you want for him? That's what I'm thinking. That's my opinion.
Okay, that's an interesting theory.
Yeah, because I feel like even after Genty, we could still get some good backs. Because like you said, Judkins and Caleb Johnson is a good one too. You know, big back,
Henderson. I don't,
not
don't I don't know
not
about
big back, but big back, big running back.
Oh yeah. Devin
Come on.
Dio. If we can go list, we can talk about this list for an hour. It's like so many running backs, and I keep telling these people, I say, look, one running back doesn't make a difference. They say, well, you like a Barry Sanders. Okay, let's talk about Barry Sanders. AR, back me up. Did Detroit go to the Super Bowl with Barry Sanders?
Mm-mm.
No. They win a bunch of games with Barry Sanders.
No.
As a great running back he was, they didn't do nothing. So running back's not gonna help. You need a whole team around that. And it starts like Pete Carroll said with the quarterback.
They only had 3 players back then.
But at least with Barry Sanders, I mean, like, there's a reason why we're talking about him to this very day. He's considered an all-time great.
Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna disagree with that at all. I wish Barry Sanders was running back now. We had him. Oh my God.
Right. I mean, you know, Calvin Johnson's another guy who was on the Lions who was around that team for a long time, and that team was like literally one of the worst teams in the league. They lost almost every game of the season by one game. And like for me, that doesn't take away from a player's greatness. I mean, you know, I would take Calvin Johnson over just about every wide receiver, bar maybe 1 or 2 names since the turn of the millennium. You know what I mean?
I agree. I totally agree with that.
And that'd be the same with Barry Sanders. Like I would take Barry Sanders over just about every running back that I can think of at the top of my dome. Yeah.
And speaking of Megatron, he never played for the Raiders. Let me ask you a question.
He wanted to.
Jason, why is Megatron always in the building?
He could have been. He should have been.
He wanted to be.
He wanted to be a Raider.
Yeah, he wanted to be a Raider.
Yeah. That was one of those. I forgot who was talking about it, but I heard it this week. They were talking about generational talent. Like I feel like he was at that time. Randy Moss, Michael Vick. Like for me, those were the ones that like I thought were generational talents. Like even, I guess.
You're right there, man. But like, you know what I'm hating right now is I'm hearing this generational talent term being thrown around like too much.
It's too much.
Way too much. To me, generational talent is reserved for guys who are generational talent. Once in a generation. You know what I'm saying? I got you.
Exactly.
I'm sure these guys that are a lot of people are saying they can be great. They're like, yes, they are great. They are elite. But generation, like that's once in a generation. That generational talent that's reserved for the likes of like a Charles Woodson, Khalil Mack for me was generational talent. I wouldn't even give that moniker to Max Crosby or Nnamdi Asomugha. To me, they're not generational. They're elite players, but they're not generational. No. You know what I'm saying? Like Barry Sanders, generational. Adrian Peterson, generational. You know what I mean? Bo Jackson. You know what I mean? Like,
Bo Jackson.
Like that generational isn't something that
you can say Tom Brady. You can say those guys, but you can't say general talent in college when they got the NFL yet. Because when they say that, they get the NFL, and then 2 years later, you don't hear from them. What happened to them? You know, they're on 4 different teams in 3 years. You know?
My guy Reggie Bush, one of the best college players I've ever seen, but NFL not so much. Did get a Super Bowl.
He had his moments, but like Reggie Bush nowhere near lived up to the heights that he had in college.
Yeah,
nowhere near.
Because everybody's fast in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like in college, it's like there's little differences, but
I'm gonna give you a name right now. Gonna blow your mind. You know, it's rejected back in the day with generational talent. Brian Bosworth,
the boss,
one of the best linebackers we've seen in college history. Is gonna be a generational talent in the NFL.
Oh, who was that lineman? Have you seen that top 20 bust of all time? That lineman, the can't miss prospect, the once in a generational prospect. The guy went to the
Odom?
Packers and the Colts.
Oh,
The offensive lineman.
I know you're talking about him today. I know you're
The
talking
guy
about.
was on steroids.
Yeah.
oh,
I
Yeah.
can't remember the name, but I know exactly what you're talking about. It
The
was like
can't miss prospect. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, like
Two
just
guys
before
right
the
back.
draft, with his shirt off, like posing and shit, like he was like the Incredible Hulk. And then, like, fast forward a year, like they put him on the cover again. And he's like generational bust.
damn.
Is it Tony Mandarich? I think that's him. That's it. Yeah, Tony. Matt said it. Tony Mandarich.
Damn. Yeah, I like Xavier Watt too. See, that's what I'm saying. There's so many good picks in that second round. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough choosing. Good thing we ain't got to make them decisions.
What happened on stream yesterday?
Which one?
Oh, just Bueno's comments said something was hilarious. What
Let
happened?
me see.
But yeah, no, I agree. Pete, like throwing generational around is also a classic smokescreen that teams media post to redirect other teams to say. Well, I don't see like teams or scouts or coaches coming out saying this guy's a generational talent. Like I cannot recall one time where a team has said that about a potential prospect. It's usually the people on the internet, on the YouTube scene, who throw that word out like it's just, this guy's going to be a generational talent. That guy's going to be a generational talent. This guy's going to be a.
I think Jalen Carter they said was supposed to be that was the last person I heard was supposed to be generational.
It's only the media to boost their viewership. That's all. Media, YouTube channel, content creators. That's all it is. It's a boost, and people look at it like, oh yeah, he is. Great college players don't make great NFL players. Sometimes the guys that you didn't even hear in college come out and be like superstars.
I think I know what you're talking about now. I'm not Bueno.
Yeah,
referring to Benson Street, but anyways.
Yeah, we have got about a month now.
Less than that, it's 3 weeks now.
Yeah, buddy.
What, to the draft?
3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, because at least that'll show us. It'll fill some of the holes, and then we can figure out where we are from there. And I'm pretty sure there'll be some trading and stuff going on too. So we might land some people.
The draft is always until the day we push like into the playoffs and then beyond. Like draft is always my favorite time of football every year. I love it. It's like better than my Christmas and my birthday because it's like I'm so passionate about my Raiders and like draft time is like we're getting these gifts. You don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know if they're gonna make you happy or you're gonna be upset. You know what I'm saying? It's just such an exciting time. I can't wait.
That's true. It's like one of those things like be like, yes, and you're like, what the fuck? One of those things like it's an emotional roller coaster, man.
Right. I love it.
I definitely do enjoy it too because it's like these guys, their lives get changed, and then it's kind of like when new family, people getting introduced to the new family, getting welcome to the new fam. So it's like once it's like damn, the new Raider family, and it's I don't know how it is for the other teams, but for the Raiders to just from the fits to the organization to the new stadium to it's I mean I couldn't see nothing better, you know what I mean? So it's a good time, man. I just love the draft because we don't know until they get on the field. Then there are those moments where like what but you never know. So
I'll focus on a reaction when they get drafted by a certain team. Are they really happy with going to that team, or are they just like, I got drafted happy? You know what I mean? You gotta look at them like, yeah, it's something like your favorite player, Mr. AR, Tyree Wilson. He walk out of the suit like impressing, like, yeah, I'm a Raider. That was it to me. Like, is he really excited? No. He got drafted. He might get paid, but yeah. then some come out there jumping around and hooping and hollering like, and then you see those players performing. Like Abdul Carter when he got drafted, he was like Abdul Carter. What was that guy we should have drafted?
Jalen Garner.
Yeah, Jalen Carter. He went out there like jumping around, like, geez, this big man jumping around. Who was happy to go to a good team? You know?
Didn't Tyree Wilson bear hug? What's his name?
Yeah, he picked up the
Tell him he better pick up these quarterbacks like that and stop playing around.
Right.
Do you remember back in the day, Gerald McCoy?
Yeah,
the Buccaneers defensive tackle. You remember when he got drafted? Like usually before, like when players get drafted, they go up, they shake the commissioner's hand, then they pose for a photo. But he was the first to go up there, and like he was just totally elated, and he gave the commissioner like a big hug. And then next, everybody was like giving him a big hug. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of a thing. But I remember that draft. It was him and Ndamukong Suh. I think it was 1 and 2.
Oh, he want to get a bear hug? They started that bear
hug?
Hug?
It was Jared McCoy.
I didn't know where it came from because they used to go out there and shake their hands. And that's it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was McCoy who started that trend.
Yeah, okay. Because I know he used to go out there and shake the commissioner's hand and wave, and then they put the hat on and all that stuff. But I didn't know that bear came because
I'm gonna fact check that. I'm 90% sure.
I don't know, but the burial came in late because they used to go out to shake their hands, and that was it. You put the hat on and move on. Jeez. So I heard you talk about.
It was McCoy. Yeah,
I want to go back to the Genty because I was just waking up, drinking my morning coffee, and I turned the guys on AR because I had both of y'all notified. But I was trying to get AR so I can get and watch the Tecmo Bowl, but I like, oh shoot. And then I thought Mr. Jason, like, oh well, let me get it. But anyway,
it's the morning.
I was watching and you was talking about, Genty. And I just want to get on that. What do you guys think? Would you be you'd be happy who they draft, of course you're Raider fans. Would you be satisfied with that draft pick? I mean, would you be like, yeah, like they'll turn it around or what?
I would.
You would?
Yes.
How about you, Jason?
I mean, I would, because I was saying T-Mac for the longest, but a lot of the things I've been seeing is it'll be him and Genty or T-Mac and Genty. I kind of rather would have Genty just for us needing to get this running game going, and that would be a good piece to kind of get that going. So I would, if we could trade back a couple spots and pick up another third or second, I would do that. And then hopefully he's still, hopefully he's still there. But I would be okay with it, because at least I know, because it's kind of like when we did with Bowers. We got a weapon. We know we got a weapon. And he can do both. That's what I like about he can catch and he can, he can run the ball. So, it's a start.
Yeah. I mean, for me,
well, Bowers was lucky, man. This is keep it real. Bowers, we got lucky to get him because he was going top 5 since Caleb and what's his name, the quarterbacks went early.
Right, but we could have gone in a different direction. Like we could have done what we always do and not make
exactly. The teams panicked. The teams started panicking, started picking quarterbacks left and right. So they panicked. They picked quarterbacks and receivers. So they panicked. Bowers had to fall on our lap, and Telesco, although he's like a cheapskate, he did good, but we'll take him. But like you said, AR, usually we'll pick the Alex Leatherwoods and
Damon Arnett,
Tyree Wilson,
like, Cleve Farrell,
yeah. But they finally did something. They do some due justice.
Well, my stance on Genty is, like, statistically, this is the best running back in the class, right? And it's him first and everyone else second, third, whatever. Mm-hmm. Look, this is a guy who I think we can all agree, whether you would like the pick or not, he should and will be the day dot starter unless there's injury. There's no reason why he wouldn't be. Mm-hmm. And like he would be addressing a huge area of need, a big problem, like the rank, the 32nd rushing attack in the league, dead last. This is a guy who could change that and hopefully beyond that. You know what I'm saying? Can he be great? Like, we will see if we drafted him. But look, it addresses a need. He is considered BPA around that range. So I'm all for it. Cool.
Yeah, but I'm hoping the Giants don't snatch him up before,
Jerry,
But-
if I ever got back on the Madden scene, you guys don't want the smoke.
You think Giants going to try to take Jetty? You think that?
I do. I think because since they secured the quarterback situation, they got Neighbors last year.
But but think about it. Wilson is not the long-term quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's
they got
kinda-
Winston too. What's his name? Jameis Winston.
Winston is a premier backup.
Yeah.
He's not a star. He never started. He's a premier. He's one of those premier backups. He's one of the guys like your quarterback go down, you can put him in. It won't change that much. It will change a little bit, but you know what I mean. He's not going to be a starter ever in the NFL again. I don't think he will be. My opinion only.
Yeah.
But they don't have a long-term quarterback. Because they got that guy Dabo still there, so they might pick a quarterback.
Yeah, but I just say they picked up 2, so I would figure that would be kind of a waste to, you know what I mean? Because then you would at least be cool for this year with that, but then you would want to, because they lost Saquon, so I mean this would be their chance to get their back. But like I said, that's just a wild guess for me. I know nothing.
They're not going to play Saquon. They can't play Saquon. They messed up and did that. So, but they do. That'd be great for me. I don't care. I wish they would take Jimmy. That way it'll take the pressure off the.
Whose phone is that?
Yeah.
That's mine. I get phone calls all day long. Business calls, all kinds of stuff. But yeah. That's my old school phone. I don't want to talk to people.
Jeff does that all the time. He's always been streaming, getting on the phone.
I won't talk to nobody with the Raider Nation, my people. I don't want to talk to nobody else. I need my wife.
You know what's funny is that, like, I'm pretty sure you were on the panel too. And salute to Jeff. That's my guy. And your guy too, obviously. But I think it was like 2 shows ago, we were just spitballing and he was on the phone for ages with his booster club or whatever. I went back and watched the replay because I was too busy just talking with you guys. But when you watch the replay, just pay attention to Jeff. Jeff's just on the phone like this, like,
oh really?
Like you can see it's just written all over his face. Like he's just like, he just wants like, can you just like fuck off? Kind of deal.
Well, James, you think so too, huh? James, you might go to. You know what? We don't. One thing about the draft, like my boy AR said, it's like a Christmas day, man. You see that big present, that big package wrapped up. You open it up, man. It's something really small. Like you just point. You see one present is like small, and like, yeah, that's what I wanted. So you don't know. We'll see.
Speaking of packages, I just went to my mailbox a few hours ago. I was going to upload a video later, but I might as well reveal it to you guys on stream.
Hey, let's
go.
go.
Premiere video. Here we go. 81.
That's right.
81.
It's safe. Tim Brown. Hey, I was gonna say Chad Shillings. No.
What?
Chad Shillings, baby.
So this is one of these. You remember the old Reebok replica jerseys? They used to have the painted numbers on them, right?
Yeah.
So when you go on eBay and you look for a lot of the older jerseys, like they're all faded, like it's just unwearable. You know what I'm saying? But this one is actually like when you consider how old it is as well. Like, I mean, Tim Brown hasn't been a Raider for how long? You know what I'm saying? So this is at least 2003.
You know what? No.
So this is
wait. How long has he been? He's still a Raider.
Yeah.
Hey, look, once a Raider, always a Raider. But I'm saying like they only make these jerseys, I believe, while they're still Raiders. So that would have been 2004 at least. And to be a painted jersey when it's still got his name all over it, like these jerseys fade quite easily if you put them through the wash and that. And I scored this for about 20 USD. So yeah. So
you talk about I think you talked about last time about the difference between Reebok and Nike jerseys, and you said I think you said the Reebok jerseys were better. Am I correct about that? Or what?
Look, I like the Nike jerseys in terms of the quality, especially like these cheap replicas. You put this through the wash maybe 2-3 times, like this
It's
starts
over.
to fade. So this, yeah, it's over. It's a wrap. So these are pretty shit, but for me, it's the novelty of I got one. It's Reebok. It's legit, and it's still in good condition when you consider like.
Hey, it looks
what I was
damn
just
good
saying.
to me.
It looks damn good. It's
Damn good.
it's still wearable.
Okay.
So like with the Nike jerseys, like the numbers are like ironed on, and the stitching it's pretty good. The quality is very good. So I'd say the Nike jerseys, I would actually say they're the second tier. I would say the top tier when it comes to quality would actually be Mitchell and Ness. Like the Mitchell and Ness jerseys, like when you put them on, they're quite expensive too. Like you can feel them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let me ask this question. I know everybody remember this guy. Remember Earl Campbell?
Oh yeah.
Those days, you don't remember? Okay, he played for Houston Oilers. He was like, he believed in like juking and jiving and getting around. He believed like running your ass over. No, back in those days, you know what kind of jerseys they were wearing? Tearaway jerseys. That means you grab their jersey, it just rip right in half. I don't know who made them back then. Anybody in the chat knows, let me know. Because they used to wear tearaway jerseys, and the NFL said, like, wait a minute.
I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. They said, the NFL said, wait a minute. You can't stop this guy in front, and you try to grab a jersey, you can't slow him down. They just rip it right away. So, and I remember those jerseys, they were in college and pros. You just like grab the jersey and then rip right off.
I used to like Shillings, man. Chad Shillings. I was when I was a young Raider fan then.
Damn, he was really young. Shillings.
Yeah, because I think that was the first person that had 81 after Tim Brown, and then because I think before that I had the Tim Brown, and it was crazy to see somebody with another 81. Yeah, it was crazy.
There's like just those numbers, man, mean something for the Raiders because we don't retire numbers.
Yeah.
Salute, Jeffrey. That's my boy right here. There are certain numbers that the Raiders have respect for. It's 24, 81, 12. Those jerseys, like, you wear those jerseys, just like, comes with some respect. Because I remember, what's his name? Woodson got 24. Willie Brown had 24. And then Beast Mode came in with 24.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that Beast Mode actually had to ask, can I wear this jersey? This number.
Yeah. Out of respect, like
out of respect, yeah. There's certain numbers that they respect. 81 is one of them. And I don't remember any players really. You said Shillings. I don't even remember when 81. I thought it was 80 something. It's 87.
Not 81.
Yeah, okay.
I had the jersey too.
And not too many players wear 81 for the Raiders.
Yeah, it's really not. Like I remember Lewis Murphy did for a short time, but then I think he went to 18 or something like that, or it might be in reverse. Yeah. But yeah.
You wear that number and got with total respect. You can't just wear his number because you wanted it. No.
Yeah. We still talking jerseys?
Yeah. They should have
talking about numbers.
They should have told Abram no. When he asked, hey, can I wear that? No.
Nope.
Can I show you some things?
Yeah, for sure.
We're talking jerseys?
Yeah.
All right. So I showed you that you were talking about quality, right, Chris? So I already showed you that Reebok jersey.
Reebok,
right?
yeah.
20 USD. So this is these are all legit jerseys. McFadden jersey. Okay. This is back from 2011, 2012. So you can see how the numbers are like ironed on, stitching, perfect. Everything's all perfect. Like this is a 10-year-old jersey still in pristine condition, right? Yeah. That's the name badge on the back. So I got this 20 USD on eBay. Now this, however, this is Mitchell and Ness, number 34. You already know who this is, right?
No. Who's that?
Lamont Jordan.
Oh, Jackson. Who's that? Do you play for the Raiders?
This is that guy.
I don't know about Jackson play for the Raiders. Number 34.
This is a limited edition all black variant. This is legit. Mitchell and Ness. The Mitchell and Ness jerseys, they don't have like as many they don't have the NFL patch here. they got one little patch there, but like I pay maybe 300 Ausd for this, and I this is like my fashion statement jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like this is quite expensive, but the quality you can feel with the Mitchell and Ness. Like these are just this is gonna last a long time. So
I ordered. It was when we had rugs. I ordered a rugs and then the Waller. The Waller was super dope, right? But the rugs one was, instead of being like our colors, was like a gold, black, and something. But it wasn't. It was ugly. And so there was a guy. He kind of had like special needs and stuff. And he was a Raider fan. He used to always wear Raider stuff. So I ended up giving it to him because it just I couldn't wear that color scheme because it was almost like the Saints kind of mix, but it was weird. But yeah,
is it one of those salute to service jerseys?
Kind of something like that, because it looked like on the website it looked like a black and with like gold trim, but then the Raiders stuff it came different, way different than that.
I had a Rugs jersey too.
Was that
my story?
It wasn't the 50-year anniversary.
It was kind of like a custom because I had never seen that design. But it looked dope, so I was like, "Shit, let me get that." And then
it would have been like salute to Army or something.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy a team jersey now. Wait till they are ready to leave. I'll buy a Tim Brown jersey, but I'm not gonna buy a
no Brock Bowers.
No, I'm not gonna buy a Brock Bowers jersey because not now. No, maybe 3-4 years. If he's ready for like 5 or 6 years, yeah. But if he's ready for like 1-2 years, well, I'm wasting my money for that. Yeah. I only bought one jersey, a red jersey, my whole life. Now it's Tyron Wheatley. That's one jersey I ever bought because I hate buying jerseys for
you still got his jersey?
Huh?
You still got the Tyron Wheatley jersey?
Nope. Damn, it got stolen.
Damn. Somebody got my Jerry Rice back when it was the all black and gray. Oh my God. Yeah, somebody actually, because I had my window open and then somebody,
My favorite jersey that I've seen anyone own that's not a signed one. My guy, shout out to On6, he's a jersey connoisseur, much like I am, but his jersey's a lot more vast than what mine is. And my favorite jersey that he owns, he has a pristine condition. I don't know if it's Russell Athletic or Starter, but remember in '95 when they had like the 75th anniversary patch on the jerseys?
Yeah.
He had a Tim Brown pristine condition 75 anniversary patch, legit jersey, and it's a thing of beauty.
No, I'm only buying if I'm buying a jersey, it'd be Raider Legends and Raiders of Past.
Right. You can never go wrong. Like if I hear people saying that they don't want to buy jerseys of these new players, it's like, well, just get a player from one of the good players from the past. You can't go wrong there.
Yeah, Woodson's a good one.
Oh yeah, but like that, I will buy a jersey. But like when I had the Garoppolo jerseys out for sale, and then Garoppolo got who's Garoppolo? It was one player that they had, and that jersey then when he got cut or traded or everything, it was Carr. It went. I looked at the Raider. What's it called? The store they have.
Raider Image.
Yeah, I looked at it. It said 65% off. I'm like, wow. So you bought jersey originally it'd be $400. Now it was only $150.
I could still
because
yeah.
What do you think of this one?
Like that.
Nice.
That John
nice?
That Jonathan Abram.
That's Jonathan Abram, yeah.
Right now, you see my other jerseys. What do you think of this one in terms of look? Does it look like it's pretty good?
I was gonna say that one looks solid. Like that's that good. Solid.
That's a good material.
Yeah, that's the good material right there.
This is a bootleg.
That's crazy.
Fun. And you know when I bought this? 2014.
That's crazy.
I paid probably $15 USD for this one.
Damn, that's crazy.
$15 USD as opposed to like this one brand new would have been like at least like $100 USD. You know what I'm saying? And that Mitchell Ness Bo Jackson one I paid like $250.
So that Bo Jackson was nice. I like that.
Crazy.
You know what? Speaking of that, You ever think the Reds gonna go all black one day?
I hope so.
You seen that? I think you seen the all black helmet that they proposed.
That would be dope. And I would do like patent leather numbers. You know what I mean? Like say either the patent leather gray or silver. You know what I mean? Silver numbers would be.
Well, like Church he just had, it was nice. Although you can't really see it from a distance, you hold it up. But yeah, something like that, that'd be nice. Because the NFL the throwback uniforms and Raiders uniforms throwback is numbered in a white jersey with silver numbers.
Our throwback is our regular. Throwback. Yeah, our throwback is our normal.
It's our normal uniform. Yeah, but we haven't changed. They haven't changed anything. Few colors here and there, but the color that changed was just silver and black. It's silver now. It used to be black.
I love that all black Bo Jackson jersey. That would be so dope.
I would love that one.
But I guess it's just not possible, being that the numbers are very distinguishable, like from a distance. So you can't really have that.
I got a new birthday coming up. You can send that to me.
Nice. When's your birthday, Chris?
No, I would say mine was March 16th, but I have a new one coming up. You can send that to me on birthday present, AR. You just, hey Chris, that birthday.
My birthday's April 18th.
Happy birthday, bro. Coming up.
AR is just 2 before my daughter. That's crazy.
Jerry wanted me to show that. That's his favorite
Can't see it.
LA Raiders cap.
Oh, I had one of those.
I got a version of that, I believe. I'm going to have a look, see if I got it wrong.
I had one that was all white with silver and black writing on it. It was nice.
I'm going to look for an old Waller. I'm going to look for like a his are hella expensive, though, even though he's not with us no more. Most of them are like hella cheap. His is still a little pricey.
Waller was a good player for us. He just had some issues.
Little turf toe going. No. I liked Waller. Waller was there was a kid out of, I think it's Jaheim Bell out of, I think it was Florida State last year. And he reminded me so much because he was a wide receiver, and I think they converted him to a tight end. 6'6". You know what I mean? Same kind of frame. That was his comp. I was like, damn, if we could get something like that again. Because it was like having pretty much another extra wide receiver, another weapon. He was pretty much our number one target back then.
So you know what I'm getting? I'm getting flack on this. Mm-hmm. People, I would say, like, we need another number one receiver. We got Brock Bowers. Guys, understand this. He's not a receiver. I mean, he plays like a receiver, but technically he's a tight end.
Yeah.
And well, we don't need no one receiver. Yes, we do.
Oh, we do. Because say if Jacoby went down right now.
But Jacoby's not the number one receiver.
No, but I'm saying, but if that's what we got to think about. If Jacoby goes down, who the heck is gonna step up? We can't ride Brock Bowers for the rest of the season. You know what I mean? Like we have to get something to equal out our offense. Like we can't have Jacoby getting double teamed. We want actually to bring someone that is getting double teamed so that way he could break free. Kind of like when we had Devontae. That's how he was able to get free.
Exactly. That's what I was saying though. Yeah, I mean Brock Bowers is a generational talent. You want to call him that? He's the only person that we can throw to that was dependable. Mm-hmm. And Jacoby Myers, I say, because he's been like what 7 years. He got his first 1,000 yards last year because we only got 2 receivers.
Yeah,
dependable receivers. I'm telling people, like, look, we need to get number one. Someone that can open it up. Someone that can go downfield and have the defense like, damn, do we double team Bowers? Or this guy, because if he gets open, he's making a catch. Or Jacoby Myers, if he gets one-on-one coverage, she's making a catch.
Exactly.
So let defense guess. If you have one receiver, they're gonna put 4 guys on it. 3 guys.
And then a smart quarterback too, because I feel like that's what we've been lacking. Because you know how I remember like Brady, Manning used to do the same thing. They would look for the one-on-one matchup. You know what I mean? They would do motion and then see where they got their one-on-ones, and then they would exploit it. It seems like just sometimes we don't go into it looking at nothing.
Reading like that Mexico game in 2017. You remember that?
Obi Molafonwo's debut, where basically Tom Brady was like,
Where is Obi Molifon? Oh, there he is. I'm just going to throw it that way. And every time he threw it that way, it was either a 30-yard reception, 40-yard reception, a touchdown. It was diabolical.
Exploiting, you know what I mean? Like, remember we did it with Dallas when we had Deshaun Jackson. But whoever 30 was, we were tearing his ass up on that. Like, and it was just it's smart ball. Like, if they do it to us, shit, teams do it to us when we had like Abram out there in coverage looking blind.
Well, you got to remember because we had the worst offensive coordinator head coach for the past couple of years, where this is a system. You run this specific route, and that's where you throw the ball to. That's where you throw the ball at. You know, so you know they look. If you look at them, a lot of times they look at that direction and that direction only.
Yeah.
Look at games. They look at that area. They're like, this is where the play supposed to go. That's where the play supposed to go. And then they throw the ball over there, and then it gets picked off or batted down or it gets sacked.
How many times that
Sorry.
Sure.
My bad. It's 1:30 a.m. I got to get up out of here. Thanks.
No, you're all good, brother.
Jason, thanks for pulling up, Chris. Appreciate you, man.
No problem. Always good to see you, AR.
Yes, sir. Thank you, AR.
Until the next one. I'll catch up with you. All right.
Yes, sir. Like, how many times, remember Carr's last year, working with McDaniels, where it seemed like he was throwing in the triple teams. He was throwing, it was just like, what the hell are you doing? I know somebody's open. Like, I just don't get it. Like, they were saying that they were telling him where to throw it and all this stuff, but I'm not listening. I'm like, man, there's 3 people over there. I'm not throwing over there just as a quarterback. I'm just not going to do, just common sense. Like, it's crazy.
That's what Daniels hated when in that Seattle game. I'll give you an example. In that Seattle overtime win when Josh broke that big run.
Yeah.
He checked out that play that McDaniels wanted to run. He looked at the defense like, this play is not going to work. Yeah. I'm going to get sacked, get a safety, we lose the game. Or we're going to get picked off or whatever. He checked out and get Josh Jacobs, and the Seattle defense wasn't ready for it, and he ran that big touchdown. If you remember it, you can go back and I don't know if it's still up or not. Watch the press conference after the game and McDaniel's face expression.
Oh, he was pissed. He was
not happy.
And I was tripping because I'm like, why come everyone's happy but him? Like, what, you know what I mean? You think he finally got a win? Like, you would think he'd be,
a win's a win. You should be happy. No matter how you win, it's a win's a win. But he was like,
he downplayed. Didn't he downplay it after the game? Like, well, it's not a major win.
That's not the play I called. What the fuck play you called? It wasn't going to work. So Carr did the smart thing, checked out of it and ran the play. It might not get, a touchdown, but at least they'd be out the back of the end zone. Like he did like a few yards to get out the end zone, so he called the other play. But Jacobs took it to the house. And was he happy? On the sideline, you can see his face. He wasn't happy. He like,
yeah, everyone's celebrating. He's sitting there like, what the hell was that? That's why I thought the dude was tanking, bro. Like, I really did, because I was like, the decisions that he was making with the talent that we at that time we had on the team, I'm like, we're not this damn bad. Because think about it, like the team, I think we won 6 games that year.
Yeah.
And then we won 4 years last year. Now, our team last year, I believe, was worse than that team that we had then. I feel like we had a lot more pieces back then than we had, because especially now going into free agents.
Well, we had pieces that's at the point that he didn't utilize them. He because like we were talking to Jeff last night that when McDaniels came, I wasn't unhappy for McDaniels coming to the Raiders. None of that. But I saw what they did in New England with Wells Walker and the other guy. Whatever his name was. Yeah, that small receiver. I said, oh shit, we got I'm sorry. Thanks for giving me right now. I'm still brain's still like,
oh, you're all good, man. I was still waking up earlier.
Renfro, we got Renfro. So it's like he was like same type of player those guys are. So we think that McDaniels will come here, Renfro gonna be awesome. Then wasn't he on the field half the time? Didn't use him. Didn't have plays designed to go his way. So right there, like we had talent. Like I said, Carr, believe it or not, was not really a bad quarterback. He was in some bad situations. Bad situations. You know.
Yeah, I see. At that time, I know I've said a lot of things about Carr and stuff like that, but it's not that I didn't think he was a good quarterback. I just thought for 40 million at that time, I think
No.
not so much. So, but looking at now, I mean, we were able to do a lot through that contract. Don't think that wasn't a smart move, because it was financially, because we were able to get out of the cap hell that we were in, and now we have money, we just don't spend it. Well, we are. Let me stop saying that, because we are building, we are slowly putting this thing together, methodically, surgically.
But he knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which Raiders is not known for doing that. They're
We're
signing
not used to knowing what we're doing.
they're signing key pieces to they start where? Defense. That's the first thing he did. They signed key pieces. 1, 2. The only player that got 3 years of the re-sign was Butler. That's it. Everybody get 1 or 2 years. So basically, they're telling these guys, hey, prove to me you're worth we'll pay you, let's say we'll pay you $5 million 1 year. Okay? Prove to me that we're resigning, we can give you 10. That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll resign you next year for $10 million if you can prove me that you worth $10 million. See, Raiders should go out and spend money on players because they did good in another team. Like that guy from the Rams, that linebacker, was still pissed off to this day. What was his name? Corey Littleton.
Yeah.
Corey Littleton?
Yeah, him
They
and
do money and didn't do shit.
Joyner. Remember Joyner? We had 2 of them, 2 bums from the same team.
And didn't do shit. And then they got cut and they still had to pay him.
Yeah.
So they go our cap. So right now they're doing a smart thing.
Yeah.
They're not used to that.
That's a great point. And we were still paying them. That's why I said we had a bad track record of doing business. Like
they play for another team, but they're still on our salary. What the hell? It's like you go working at Costco's and then get a job at Walmart, but Costco's still paying you.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you still paying this guy? He working somewhere else.
Yeah, only us. Because it's crazy. And it was not just like one player. It's like seven people. Yeah. And I'm being generous by saying 7. It was probably 12. Yeah.
Let's say so. They do this smart.
Yeah.
And people like, and I'm still saying, guys, Raider Nation, stop panicking. Why didn't we re-sign Spillane? Spillane wanted the bag. Raider said, we get somebody just as good as you for less.
All these turkeys.
Less years. Because remember Spillane, he told me Spillane wasn't a starter at Pittsburgh. He was a backup. He got an ultimate name for himself. So, the guy we got to replace him was a starter. Hey, Raider Ryan, what's up?
Definitely like him. I want to see, like I said, I like the all black looks.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Nope. Thumbs down. I hate it.
He said he hated
this dude. I won't get one. If I go to a Slauson swap meet, I will not get one.
Damn. Yeah, I got to get a New Jersey this year. I got to figure out who.
It'd been better if they had the bill like black and had those things they got going across silver, because you really can't see them. That'd be better. My opinion. I'm not a fashionista, but
I like the rush ones, the ones we wore when we beat San Diego, or what did we call them, Chargers?
I still call them San Diego. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say Brock will be here. 89.
89. Who was 89 before Brock? There's another player.
Oh yeah, Coop. The Coop.
You think he's coming back?
No, I did a video on that stuff. No, because every time, even with the Renfro, even though he visited, but like I'm not getting excited no more because I'm tired of getting hyped up and then they go sign somewhere else. Like, oh, they're coming back. Oh, there's he's got a connection with blah 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 blah, and then he signs the Patriots.
You know what? They'll probably pick him up too. Because
I
those OCs,
That'd be crazy.
Josh McDummy.
Oh man, and that's why I was like, damn, everybody going to the Patriots. McDaniel's over there, but they're like, he's a great coordinator.
Well, Jason, be honest. If you're an NFL player and you're in a contract, and the team that you played for offer you $5 million, but this team offers you 15, where are you going?
I'm going to the Raiders. Whatever the Raiders want to give me.
Be honest. Now you know damn well this thing offer you $15 million and the Raiders offer you $5 million. Where you gonna go? Be honest now. You know you're not being honest with me.
I mean, give me some options. I need some real options to think through.
Okay, I'm gonna give you options. Let's do this. Let's break it down. All right. So you play for Raiders for 3 years, 4 years. The contract and you're a free agent. You can go anywhere you want to. The Raiders say, "Hey, once you come back, we'll give you $5 million." Patriots call you and say, "Hey, we want you, but we'll give you $5 million for 2 years. 2-year contract, $5 million." Okay. Patriots come and say, "Hey, we'll give you 15. We'll give you 15 a year for 3 years."
So split that too.
Come on now. Come on. Be honest.
250 versus 5.
You play for Raiders, you always will be a Raider. But the point is that this team's gonna pay you. You're in your prime. 3 years, $15 million. We're guaranteed, let's say, $36 million guaranteed.
I'm sticking with the Raiders because I'll never forget what the Patriots did to us. But
okay, all right, we'll take the Patriots out. Let's say New Orleans Saints. How about New Orleans Saints? How about that?
Oh man.
See?
It's tough to say because to have the chance to be a Raiders, like, like, and money, you can't put money on that because I don't know how loyal they'll be when I get to New Orleans, but I know as long as I'm a Raider, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to stay on this damn team. So yeah, I'm gonna have to decline. I'm gonna have to, rock it out for that
well,
5.
I'll tell you one thing. Loyalty don't pay bills, money does.
It does.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that every player in the NFL or any professional sports is that greedy, but give them options, especially a new player. This is only your third year, fourth year in the NFL. You don't know what that next year is going to be like. You might they give you $5 million. Yeah, I'm a true Raider. I will never leave a team. And then Raider draft another guy in position and take the starting spot. Your value can go down.
He ain't gonna do it like me though, Chris. No, it's been done. No.
It's a your value. They draft another guy that takes your place, or you lose out to another guy. Your value is not going to be $15 million. It's going to be even less than that. So they have sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, take a better contract.
Yeah, realistically, I would want to play for longer, so I would have to do. As a smart man, I would do what I had to do. I would hope to come back to the Raiders, maybe towards the end of the career, but financially we would have to do, especially for the family, because it really, at the end of the day, it's not even about me. It's about the family. It's about, how I can make sure that we got everything that we need. So
you want the stability. So you got young kids, you want the stability. You want them to send them to college, you want to do all that stuff. I'm going to guarantee $36 million. So I know I have that under my belt. That's guaranteed.
What a quick question though, is Derek Carr still the quarterback there?
Where? New Orleans?
At New Orleans. If I'm going there, oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, you get specific details.
I'm like, where we gonna win? Because I like to win, you know what I'm saying? Because the money's cool too, but I want to win. Because I could lose over here for that $5 million, but then I gotta move and all this stuff, get my family to New Orleans just to go lose too, So
yeah, but you also got to think about this though. Like you brought up a good point. You also want to go to a team that won't make you look worse than you really are. Because, like I said, Devontae Adams, I kind of didn't like what happened, but I kind of see what he was saying.
Yeah, I could see. I could
I can
definitely
see that, but
Yeah.
it's still not all about you.
Yeah.
You perform well, the team perform well. That's what I'm saying. But you don't want to go to like a place where the team sucks constantly.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not gonna help my career because if I can't, it don't work out here, I won't look good enough. With another team, I say, you know what? Although your team sucks, you did play the best you could. Once you come over here, make some more money. You want that option.
Yeah.
Football is not a forever sport. Those people get hurt, career-ending injuries. They get psychological CTEs. You know, you gotta make sure that you're protected for the future.
Yeah, definitely. So I would, because when we got, see, that's the thing. We went through so many different with Ziegler and McDaniels, then Telesco, and then now it's like a whole nother mindset. Like it's now because last year's draft I thought was cool. Like I thought, the first, 4 picks, we were able to get some starters out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Camryon. We'll see how that eventually goes. But
yeah, that pans out.
Yeah, but I mean, it's now. But I was kind of like, okay, if we could build off that. But now it's a different regime again. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to get. Because it's like we were last year. We didn't know what Telesco was going to do. We didn't know what they were going to do.
Telesco to me only had 2 good picks in the whole draft, so I'm not giving them credit for Bowers. I just have to fall on a lap. The JPJ and the Glaze was his picks, and those were good picks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving credit for Bowers. What Bowers was in there? Who do you think he would have picked?
That's a good because I think I thought it was supposed to be what's his name that Atlanta got the quarterback.
Penix.
Yeah, I think that's who we were lined up to. You don't think it was him?
No, it was when I read and when I heard it wasn't Penix that they were looking at. We like Penix.
Yeah. No, I mean us. That's what I said. I thought
we like Penix.
Yeah.
But you know who they wanted?
Who?
Bo Nix.
Oh, so when they got him, it was like,
and Denver wasn't going to trade out that pick.
Yeah,
but they wanted too much.
Damn.
Or no, was Atlanta? Well, who's before? Who picked for Atlanta? I can't remember.
You could be right. It could have been the Broncos. I think Broncos. What were we? What number?
We were 13. They were 11. They were 12. They were right before us.
Okay.
But those somebody I think it's 7 that I heard that they wanted to trade. The Raiders were trying to trade because they couldn't get the first 2 quarterbacks. That was impossible.
Yeah.
But they want to try to get another player, Bo Nix. Because let's go love Bo Nix. He didn't mention anything about Penix.
Yeah.
No. And you know what? And I think that Telesco in the AP situation, I don't know if it's true or not, but they did not get along. And you don't want a GM not get along with the head coach of the team. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work out. Never works out.
That's a good topic too, because like who do you think was right? Like was it Pierce or was it Telesco? Did Telesco want to make some aggressive moves, or was he not making enough moves?
He's never an aggressive move, Telesco. I think he trade up 2 spots and get that dude down there, Sherbert. But I don't think he made any aggressive. He don't make aggressive moves. When it comes to Pierce, you got to remember one thing. He was a linebackers coach, assistant coach. He didn't have experience. He might know linebacker talent or some defensive talent. He didn't know about the rest. He had to go to the offensive meetings to see how the offense works. That tells you something right there. He didn't know all the offensive plays. He was basically defensive. So he had no experience. Because we had a combine. He was, who he was talking to? Cornerbacks and linebackers. That's all he was talking to. He wasn't talking to the defensive linemen or nothing like that. He was talking just to the cornerbacks and the linebackers. That's all he talked to. He didn't go talk to Michael Penix. He might have spoke to him, but they didn't go talk to him. He didn't talk to any of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I used to always wonder, like during our drafts, like who's our scout team? Because like, who are they talking to? Because I mean, everyone else is getting better, building, and we're getting these no name character guys. They're always a good family guy, and very very polite, and listens and all that kind of stuff. We need someone that plays and plays well, wrecks some stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's a thing that we had a good scouting department. I think they're still there. All but one. Champ Kelly's gone. I think Champ Kelly left because he wasn't getting the love he deserved. He might say get this guy, but then he gets vetoed by Telesco and everybody else.
He said to disrespect Abrams, bro sure could hit the shit out of the cameras on the sideline.
Oh yeah, he was a good hitter. Not on the field.
Hey, he knocked himself out. That's how hard he hit.
Well, God, yeah. Yeah, the camera won that battle.
Yeah. Stood over him like,
You think you bad, huh, boy?
Yeah. He said, hey, wake up. Huh?
Look up.
Yeah, wake up.
You know what day it is?
Look up, Marlon. Say cheese.
You know what month it is? It's Fat Nimber. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like I said last night. I don't know if you saw if you were on that. I said I was happy when they hired AP. I was like ecstatic when they got the year and they showed that video. Stand up. I was pumped up. Then that happened. 4-13. This year, I'm not like that. This year, I have confidence. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like okay, we're not going 4-13 again. We're not going 2-15. We're not going 1. No, we're not tanking. That's not Pete Carroll's DNA.
Yeah.
That's not in Tom Brady in DNA. Because you got to remember, you can't fire Tom Brady. You can fire Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Tom Brady put his own money into this team. You think he want to lose money? No. That's why Mark Davis did the best movie he did in a while. Besides, well, I don't know any movie he did, but by letting Tom Brady let a football mind person take over this thing. Mark Davis is a businessman. He's not a football guy. Brady is. And people say, well, he had a little experience being. You don't need experience to be an owner. You can own anything you want. You got to have experience owning it. I can own my favorite car, 67 Lincoln Continental Suicide Doors. I never owned it before, but I own it now. So I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to make sure I got everything fixed up right, working. That's how I'm going to do it. You know what? We're going to fix this thing so I can make more money.
He owes it to us, too. He knows that. Tom owes it all to us. All 6 of them, Tom. Or all 7.
Tom Brady only beat us one time.
That was enough. That changed everything. We gave him his rise. Because without us, there's no Tom.
No, without the referees, there's no Tom.
Yeah, that too.
Because they had to go. Anytime you're a referee, you have to go in your back pocket, get that the journal, look at it and see, is that a rule? Is that a rule?
Yeah.
But like that one incident where they had the index card to measure the first down. I said, what kind of bullshit is that?
And then they still called.
We lost the game because they got the first down.
Yeah.
Because they had the index card. Because they were driving. They had to go kick a field goal, I remember correctly.
Yeah.
To win the game. And it was like 4th down. It was that close. We get an index. You just don't happen to have an index card in your back fucking pocket. Get the hell out of here.
And we know that wasn't the first, but Brady's one of ours, so we gotta inflate gate and all all that kind of stuff. But that's the past. It's the past.
Well, you know what? It's a crime, but it's not a true crime till you get caught.
Exactly. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
We don't know if you cheat. How you know we cheat? How you know you cheat?
Exactly.
Is that in the rule book? It doesn't say rule, I can't do this.
Exactly. He didn't know. He was just trying. He's a competitor. We're gonna win by any means.
You know how many rules there are? Every one thing. There's a rules for everything. So I can't read every
exactly.
like 250. The rule book has 250 pages. Read every rule. Like, yeah, I can read all that, but I ain't gonna remember all that shit. So I didn't know that was a rule.
Hey, no harm, no foul. You know, yeah. I forgot that. Yeah.
You're a kid. You do something bad the first time. Say, okay, I'll forgive you this time. Don't do it again. Okay, so you do it again. Now you get punished.
Yeah.
Because you know the person. Hey, I didn't know those. You could do that, but now you do.
Yeah. First time you get caught, you're like, oh, I didn't know. My bad. I did this.
Oh, I still all the time when I was a kid. Yeah, I knew I was making rules. Like, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll be good. I'll be good.
I probably will do it again. Do it again, but do it better way so won't get caught.
Hey, Chris, like I'm gonna spin to a different topic, right?
Go ahead.
So we're at my job we talk about like harm reduction and stuff like that, and we talk about trauma and stuff like that, right? So we were talking about like as kids, they were saying like, you shouldn't yell at your kids and talk, or say this. I'm like, damn, I wish they had all this stuff when I was growing up. Our parents beat the hell out of us.
Look at Jason. I'm gonna get you up right quick. If they had the rules they have now when I was a kid, my parents be on death row.
That part.
They beat the shit out of me, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, real talk. Hey, but that's the conversation because they're like, I'm like, damn, I wish they were so delicate when they dealt with us because I felt like we were bad kids. But then when I look at kids nowadays, it's crazy, because I thought we were, we were something else. But
you know how bad it was when I was a kid? That you out in the streets and you messing up and then neighbor sees you, neighbors grab you and discipline you, beat you, whatever it is. Once your dad get home, mom get home, and then they'll tell you what happened. The mom and dad would say, "Oh, thanks for doing that," and have drinks with them and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole neighborhood would discipline you. We got away from that, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, this is exactly what I want. Like, because because I'm like, it's so crazy. Like, and it worked for the most part. It worked. I had my ups and downs and stuff like that, but for the most part, the stuff that they tried to drill into me was, I needed it. It was something that was necessary because we were off the hook, and it's we're losing a lot of the discipline, what I mean, like and people saying stuff because we didn't listen too well then either, but we took heed to a lot of the important stuff. There, the stuff that stuck.
Well, it's like that lady that wrote a book on that timeout. Excuse my language, guys. Timeout bullshit. Mm-hmm. She wrote a book on like, yeah, put your kids timeout, and she didn't even have freaking kids. How do you know? You don't know. You have no experience in this. Oh, I'm a psychologist expert. So what? Have you had kids? No, we had no idea how to raise them. So don't tell me to put my kid in timeout. My kid mess up. And see, I use a voice of a third authority with them, and they see my anger. I think I whoop my kids now. I think I whoop them twice. All three of my natural born kids, my biologically born kids. I whooped them only twice. All three of them. But you know why? Because I set the rules immediately. Mm-hmm. When they started learning how to talk, how to walk, how to use the bathroom, potty train, all that stuff, I started setting rules then. And I make sure they understand the rules. Daddy said no, that means no. And then if I raise my voice, higher it goes, they like, oh shit, he means it. And they don't do that now. They don't do all that.
Being straight up firm, like setting those boundaries, like letting them know, because it's harder to stop it later after you've allowed it for so long. So you got to either, you can't be wishy-washy and be like, oh, it's cool. Yeah, we good. We friends and all this kind of stuff. But no, it's, I'm here for you and I want your best interest. But there's gonna be some shit that we not doing. You know what I mean? Like we will respect each other. And there's certain things like me and my daughter, we could talk about anything. She knows because I always wanted that relationship where I don't want her to have to hide stuff. Like I was creeping out my window, all this kind of stuff. All the crazy shit.
Good,
And
I'm sorry. Good luck with
yeah,
Navy soccer game. Good luck. Hope you win. Good luck.
yeah, for sure.
But I bring one incident. Before I had my daughter, my boys were younger. They were young.
Mhm.
I had to go to the bank. At that time, we didn't have all the internet banking like you do now. I had to go bank to transfer money, go back and forth. And I took my boys with me. And I told her, hey, go sit over there. The teller said, wow, your kids are well behaved. Well, how you do that? They know better. That's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go to markets, all these kids running around.
Yeah. I look at them like this. I'm like,
kids never did that.
I'd be
dead.
I'd be laying out somewhere, knocked out. Hey, and it's funny you said that. Like you go to like the stores and you see, the kids running around, and it's crazy, and you're like, damn. Like for us, we were raised like to say, yes, ma'am, no, sir, all that. Like so. I still do that, and people, oh, don't call me ma'am. I'm like, man, this is drilled into me. This was beaten into me.
I'll call you sir. I'm older than you, but I still call you sir. I respect and ma'am. I respect because that's the way I was raised. I was raised to be respectful for everybody else. Like disrespecting you might change.
Yeah,
but to my kids,
exactly. You started with respect, and then it could change. It could change later. But yeah.
But yeah, this like I said, I don't know. And then what I hate is that they blame they didn't have no father in your life. You can't blame that for that.
Yeah, I mean,
because I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a father. I didn't have a father growing up anyway. I had a stepdad for like so many years, but he wasn't a real father to me. Yeah, so you can't blame that.
Yeah, I've never known my real father. Never met him. All that kind of stuff. But see that always made me, Michael Jordan, I think was my first like father figure, because it was one of my favorite players, and then just at that time I was like, damn, Mr. Perfect, he does everything, and because we don't have it's either going to be like your local drug dealer, it's going to be your local pimp, the local hustler, whatever in the neighborhood, but or athlete, rapper,
yeah, exactly. That's the problem right there. They influenced by social media. Really took a toll on a lot of people growing up because that's all they see. Back when I was growing up, we didn't have all that. We had the TV, and then 11 and 12 o'clock midnight, the TV goes off. The station went off, not the TV. The station went off.
Yeah, hey,
then you had to wait next morning, and then you get all your news and source information on the newspaper. When you're 10 years old, man, you don't read no goddamn newspaper. All these reviews is Sunday comics.
I was going to say the comics and the sports section. That was all I was on.
Yeah, Sunday comics and sometimes sports section. But yeah, you don't read the daily business on stuff. But now everything's on the media. And it's an influence of the kids. But like I said, you got to blame both sides. You can't blame just the parents. You got to blame the kids too. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I was adopted, so like I was really close to my adopted mother, but I didn't get along too well with her husband. But he would always make me read and do like book reports. Like every month I would have to do a certain amount. I could stand him for that, but like as I grew up and you appreciate, I could appreciate the things that it was a sick way of him trying to show me stuff, but some of the stuff I could definitely appreciate, rest in peace, but I can appreciate the things that, that did for me because I can read. I was thinking, boys in the hood. He's like, I can read, bitch. Like
that was my mom is this guy, this is my stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was cool. I mean, he beat the shit out of me a lot. But one thing he did to me, and I think about to these days, that Saturday morning is mine. As a kid, it was my day. I go to school 5 days a week, but you don't think about they got to work 5 days a week neither. But anyway, Saturday morning cartoons, yeah. Then you get that a certain time. Saturday morning, the cartoons go off. Your buddies, let's go outside and play football, play catch, do that. You know what he'll tell me? You ain't gonna no goddamn where. You know why? Because that was his day off too. You know what he was doing? Working on his cars.
Yeah, I was just
Working
at
on all
work.
the stuff there. I had me sit there and watch him do it all hell.
Hey, boy, hand me that. You know what I mean? Hey, we was to
Look at
go
that press wrench.
to get him.
Crescent wrench? What the fuck is that? That's
Yeah.
a crescent wrench.
Like this one? Like, no, boy, the goddamn.
The
You
bigger
are.
one.
Oh, shit.
Exactly. That's what I'm not a mechanic, but I'm a good technical person. But he taught me a lot of stuff that you take it for granted. Because I have my son now. He's my wife's son, not mine. And I'll show you tools, and you're like, you're not use a simple tool. I'm still showing him tools now. He's 26 years old. He never ever taught that. And see, parents teach children different things. They teach them what they learned when they grew up. And they don't do it now. Now it's like you can watch YouTube. Hey, that's how you do it. Yeah. On YouTube, it looks easy. Go out there and try to do it.
Yeah. Hey, you watch the video, you're like, oh, that's easy. Shit.
You do like 15 minutes. Oh, I can do 15 minutes. You out there for 8 hours trying to get the damn thing done.
Yeah. Looking at it, like, looking at the video, like, wait.
Yeah, look at that, man. Say, hold that flashlight stick, boy.
Yeah.
It ain't hard. Some kids have. No, some kids, they don't know what a flashlight is. No, I know my cell phone is so wrong. But they use their cell phone. No, we're talking about one of those big, heavy duty, you used to get from Sears and shit, the Craftsman flashlight thing with like 15, they took like, the young guys probably know what those are called D batteries. They took 8 D batteries, and them were heavy as hell. Hold it straight.
Yeah, he bringing back some memories. Hey, no, it's crazy, man. Like I think of so my my mom's husband, he would get places that were like, what do you call them, foreclosed and stuff like that to get, and then he would fix them up himself. So he would be the plumber, he'd be the electrician, he'd be the everything, gardener, everything, so like, and I, by involuntary support, was, on my days off, like that's why I said maybe that's just what it was. On my days off where I would love to, play football, all that stuff. Yeah. Well, he was a person that could work. He took Sundays off, but I swear he would work Sundays if he could. If my mom didn't tell him, the boys gotta get some rest. You know what I'm saying? Because he would go on Saturdays. I would hide. I would hide in the bathroom. I would play sick. I would do it all just to not go.
You too?
Oh yeah.
I like a Friday night was a plan.
Yeah.
Up to school.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
I'm throwing up. Oh, I'm about spitting water into the.
Didn't work. You get your ass up. Let's go. Yeah. We go to the junkyard or go somewhere. Down that thing, those days we only had like 2 hardware stores. You count Sears, man. Every Saturday morning, we was in that car, heading to Sears, getting up park, waiting in long lines, just to get a damn screw. We didn't line for that.
Chris, we should have did this a long time ago.
Yeah,
hey, you speaking the language. We've been Ace Hardware.
Hardware.
So in Oakland, back in the day, it used to be home base. You see, I don't know if you remember Home Base. We got Ace Hardware. Yeah, but that's what we used to have, Home Base, and that was he used to love Home Base.
Home Depot now.
Yeah, like for us, like the shoe store or like the Raider Image store, Ace Hardware and Home Base was his spot.
It was Bill's Emporium.
Yeah. Oh damn. Yeah.
That was way back when. But yeah, that was our Saturday morning. Because Saturday morning, you want to get out there, man, watch the Saturday morning cartoons and go out there, play some catch with your friends. Yeah. Then they come like, hey, Chris, you coming?
No, I gotta go to work. Only highlight would be lunch, like because I feel like he would know that I'm suffering, but he would at least, get lunch and we get some outside food. And then, it would, we get through it. And then, but let me see if how cheap he was. Did you get any kind of like, because he would give me like, I feel like we would work the month and then he would throw me like $25. I'd be like,
Yeah,
what?
you were rich compared. Well, I'll come to the area. I just give an allowance. But one thing I do give credit to is that when I showed initiative, when I worked hard,
Yeah.
he'd give me extra time or extra money or a special treat. He would do that for me. He didn't give me allowance because I'm a kid. He gave me allowance because sometimes he's like, I wait for my little $5. They look at me like, what? Dude, you do like you're supposed to do. You didn't do your chores. You fucked up. You got a C- in math. You expect $5? Didn't get it. And that was a lesson learned. You don't work hard. You don't do what you're supposed to do. You don't get rewarded. So life's going to get rewarded for doing nothing.
You know what I appreciate about their teaching? Like, as you were saying that, like it hit home. They were teaching us about real life. That there's not gonna be no damn excuses. Excuse me. There's not gonna be no pity. The rent man don't want to hear. Oh, hey man. Oh man, I had a real day. Oh, this guy. No, he don't want to hear that.
No.
Yeah, like, so that's what I did. Definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, the thing, like I said, when I did something wrong, they'll put me, beat me, whatever they did, and they'll ask me, "Do you know what you did wrong?" No, bam, more.
Yeah, you figured out. I figured out real quick.
Wrong? He said you did wrong. He said, "Yeah, I know I did." Yeah,
why'd you lie, dude?
Yeah, they said, "I'm sorry. We don't want your apologies. This you did wrong. Just don't do the same shit again."
Yeah,
that's all it was. And that's called life lessons. They're talking about we should put that in schools. That should be taught at home or at church or whatever, you find family at. Wherever you find family, that's what should be taught at. Because a lot of parents now send the kids to school so they can teach them life.
Yeah.
You can't send your kids to school. Sorry, you can't send kids to school to learn life. Life's learned at home.
Yeah.
Or wherever you call home. Wherever, like you said, you adopted, there was an orphanage, or whether it was a foster family, or it was a real family, or a step family. That has to be taught there. If it's not taught there, you're not going to learn it anywhere else. Because damn squirrels. And if you don't learn that from there, you're gonna learn. The other kids gonna have their situation gonna put on you. They go, oh, your dad does this, my dad don't. I wish I had your dad. Then it goes from there. And then you get rebellious towards your own family because this kid gets privileged. He get everything he wants. You don't. So you're going to get, why can't I get that? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, you got to teach it at home. You got to work for it.
Yeah. So, like, basically, my situation, we were, so.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll find these squirrels out here.
For sure. So I gotta stop smoking this shit. Yeah. No. So like, yeah, I basically my adopted mom, she was a foster mom. She took care of kids with special needs. That's how she ended up with me, But she had the harder goal because like they would call her for like emergency places. Like if someone, they got put out, they'd be putting garbage cans, all kind of stuff left at fire stations. They'll just say, hey, we just need a couple days, or can you just take them for a couple weeks? And she would never say no. So we'd have hella kids in the house. So it was always like different personalities and stuff. I'm a comedian at heart. Sometimes I don't show it here because I'm so serious like when I'm on here, but I do have a funny side, and I do have a very very crazy sense of humor. And it's all the different personalities and all the different characters that I've seen and just in life, and I was one of those kids that came to her that It was only supposed to be there for like a couple weeks, and she fell in love with, and I'm glad she did, and she would help anybody. So any good qualities I always say I got from her. Like anything that I was supposed to be, because I guess from what I heard, my pops wasn't the best person. But as my mother, I feel like she gave me all the good qualities that I have acquired in my life. So teaching works, man. Like teaching works. Having somebody, even though we don't listen when it's going down, I know like they drill so much stuff at us, and at the time we don't get it because we kind of have to go and figure it out and live that life lesson. And that's how we learn. Yeah, you could tell me, but my mentality was, all right, ain't that stupid shit. I ain't gonna do it like that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You know what? It's that thing is that in one ear out the other, but they also, okay, you're still a kid. Be a kid, but this I'm gonna tell you. And you hear it, but but then as you get older, it started it's in the back of your head, like, I think they were telling me that. Then you started learning, you start picking things up. Because a lot of things I did wrong, and I was gonna think about like they were trying to tell me that, but I wasn't listening. And you're a kid, you don't listen because you got your own mind made up. You're gonna do what you want to do. You're not the adult in the room, but you're gonna do what you want to do. Works for you sometimes it don't. But like I said, everything comes from home. It just got to come from home.
Like I was young, right? And I don't know if you remember the song called Gangsta Lean, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so I memorize the song, get it down. So I tell them, hey, I'm about to, do a song for y'all. So I do that song. So I nail it, right? I'm like, and then man, they were like, oh, that's what you doing with your time. You want to be a gangster rapper out of this? I'm like, man, y'all should just appreciate that I learned the song, I did it, I performed it, and you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't know. I just expect, that was one thing I think parents should kind of do more that they kind of did that I'm more free of letting them. I know I want you to be happy. As my child, I want you to be happy. I don't want you to chase my dreams. I want you to, do what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah, but at that time I was like, damn, I wish they had supported me. But I mean, I think at the time they were just doing the best thing they could as a how do you say, as a
guardian parent?
Yeah, as a parent, but as a responsible parent of saying, yeah, okay, that's cool. You can rap and all that kind of stuff, but you want to think about the future. You want to think about, and I kind of took that my way because then I never did no songs for them no more. I was like, all right, and then that kind of changed how I wrote my songs. I was a little bit more negative, what I mean, more rebellious when I wrote and stuff like that. And I just fueled off that. Like I just started taking stuff like that to try to reverse it, to be like, okay, well, if you're gonna say that, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna keep doing it, and I don't know. I just maybe that spun out of control a little bit too negative. But
just talking about that, back when I was a kid, I don't know how old exactly you are, but when I was a kid, there's that question: what do you want to be when you grow up? Fireman, policeman, astronaut, this and that, respectable careers. You ask kids now, you know what they say? I want to be a YouTube influencer. Okay. That's the path they're looking at. Yeah. I want to be a YouTube influencer. I'll be a TikTok influencer. I'll be this and that. But there's no more like respectable careers that they want to be in. So, or I want to be a maker, like you said, I want to be a rap star. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, how many people think they want rap stars? Probably 500,000. Now people are rap stars, probably 6. Yeah. Okay, I'm 500,000. So that career choice is not a good career choice to make. So that's what parents are trying to tell you. Okay, if you want to do that, follow your dreams. But you have to make sure you have some backup plan. Mm-hmm. Make sure, okay, well, I want to be a rap star. Well, I'm going to go to college, get my degree to be a whatever. I have that. I'm going to try this, but I'm going to have that just in case this don't work. And 9 times out of 10, million, it doesn't work. You be a rap star. It only takes a few things, and you gotta go through that whole Diddy crap. Excuse me, I don't want to talk about
Yeah.
that.
Hey, but it's I'm glad you actually brought that, because that's so I used to do music and all this kind of stuff too, and I was very careful about the image that I portrayed for things like that too, because I was always been a West Coast person. Tupac always. I used to
Yeah.
hate Bad Boy, all that kind of. I would never. I was like, I don't care how much money they try to throw at me. I would never, because I would always want either Interscope, Universal, something like that. But then, but then I was so stubborn, because I used to say at 30, if I'm not signed, then I'm gonna stop. Because there's you have to kind of be the one to pull the plug, or you'll just keep chasing and you'll keep wasting. And that means, like, if it hasn't worked by then, it's time to shift. Like, we're not gonna keep doing the same.
That's a very good point. Keep chasing, keep wasting, because there's certain dreams you can follow. Like I said, there's some dreams you can follow and pursue and make it. Certain dreams, some things are out of reach, that you got to realize that when is it out of reach? When is like I reached my limit. This is as far as I can go. Then you got to make a choice. Like, okay, you got to do something else, because this is not working.
Yeah.
Because a lot of, and because I had basically started back there. I just started playing before I had my injury. I played saxophone for years. I was in a band and stuff like that, in a band and in the band, high school. I wanted to be the next Grover Washington Jr., but I knew my skills wasn't up to par for that. So what I did, I just played for fun. So I didn't go out there and force the issue. I just knew my limitations. So I'm gonna do something else. You gotta know your limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Push yourself as hard as you can. But then when we reach that ceiling, that's it. You can't go higher than the ceiling. So like I said, you waste your life, trying to pursue the same dream, you're gonna be in the same spot you were 30 years ago. Still looking for that dream.
Yep. I always I was thinking of this the other day. So I used to, when we were how we were talking about the parents kind of telling us, only a few people make it. Because I used to hear that story all the time about like the percentage. Oh, I heard it damn near every day, because I my big things back then, I'm NFL, and a famous singer, rapper, whatever. And I would always hear the percentage is like winning the lottery. It's worse than winning the lottery. You have a better chance of actually winning the lottery if you put, all this kind of stuff. And it was like, for me, I cannot listen to that, because if I listen to that, then I'm going to believe that. So if I'm chasing this dream, I can't listen to the negativity, because I am brainwashed in myself that I am going to make it. So I have to drown everything that's coming at me out. That's just for me. That's just how I was always. And it's stubborn, but it's necessary, because if I start listening to that and I letting stuff sprinkle into my mind that, well, maybe it's not real, or maybe it can't make it, I fuck all that, sorry, excuse my French, but yeah,
that goes same thing in professional sports. Same thing in football, basketball, baseball. When you're a kid, you always go out there and play street ball.
Mm-hmm.
You emulate the quarterback. Joe Montana for the. I'm just saying that because that first came out. Joe Montana for the passer rise. Yeah, it does that. You're a kid, but then you dream of being that NFL player. But when you're a kid, it's all you guys are like. All you boys are 10 to 15 years old. You guys pretty much the same height, whatever. Out of those 11 guys or 8 guys out there playing, only 3 of you guys gonna grow to NFL status, height, weight. The rest of you guys not gonna make that. So they can pursue their dream. But I notice that always making that. I watch a lot of these players, especially in college. I used to be big on high school sports, but I kind of backed off of that for a while. Because I used to live in LA. I used to watch the CIA and all that stuff, thing. But the ones who make it really big in the pros, this is what you don't hear about. And the one that you don't hear, that big news article. Jordan Davis ran for 5 touchdowns in high school in a victory over their rivals. Jordan Davis get signed to USC. Jordan Davis, number 3 draft pick. 2 years later, you don't hear anything about him.
Yeah.
We know make it. That guy Jordan Davis played behind the left guard. Yeah, you don't hear anything about him. But yeah, he gets picked. He goes to a smaller school, gets either UDFA or paid in later rounds. But yeah, he's there for 10 freaking years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the ones that don't believe that, yeah, I'm doing the best I can, making more than the person that I'm dumb as shit. I know I'm going number 1 draft pick. I know I'm the best I'm the high school football player. I'm the best college player. It's a different story when you get the NFL.
Yeah.
A lot of parents will tell you, because there's a few cases like some players, like a few basketball players, they went back and got their degree because I'm not gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't play for that 2 years because I'm not that good. I'll get the 2-year contract, but then after that, what am I do? Go back to my degree. You see? So
Yeah.
you gotta look at where you come from and what the hell. I use W40. Oh, well, you know my opinion.
If you talk about grandkids, I was like, that's
I just saw that pop up like W40. What are you talking about? What, not gonna turn into a show like that again, though. Yeah, no more of those shows. But anyway, Jason, I'm glad you had me on. Hey, are we gonna do this every Saturday morning? Because I'd be happy to do a Saturday morning.
Yeah, definitely so. Yeah, we back.
Okay, let me know, because I just popped up this morning. I woke up like, oh, shit.
Yeah, sometimes it's like I don't know how early, because I kind of just wake up and then I'm just like, oh yeah, let's do it. Let's while I'm feeling it, like let's
this Jimmy the night before. If you think about it, yeah, I might do a show tomorrow, so I have an idea, because this week is my BWN weekend.
Okay.
BNW weekend. You know what that means?
BNW.
Mm-hmm. My family's out of town.
Oh, bachelor night with the no.
But I call it butt naked weekend.
Okay. I was saying bachelor night.
I can walk out butt naked. Like, yeah, doing what? So that started last night. So I was like, yeah, I'm having a good time. Not like you guys think. So this night, let's keep it clean.
Yeah, no Diddy.
I know you that man in our opinion. You gonna make this nasty. It's not all about that. Yeah, so I'm gonna holler at you later. I'm gonna get going. I gotta go do a few things before they get home tomorrow.
For sure, definitely appreciate that conversation. You know, because I was like, we'll do a lot more of that too. Because
anytime you want.
Because man, you was bringing up some stories where I was reliving childhood.
You know what? I tell you one thing. Life stories are people need to hear sometimes. Life stories. So everybody, your experience, my experience, because they don't know. Everybody experiencing life growing up is different. Nobody had the same thing. Some kids had it up. Oh, this last story. There's a kid down the street. Now, this is a thing that happened in the 70s. It was called in LA. It was called the Great Suburban Move. Well, it's where that the white people got out of LA. That's what it was, because blacks were taking over. It's just true. It's absolutely happy. You look it up. So we moved out to the suburbs. My mom and my mom and stepdad at that time were middle class, so they had money to move too. So they decided to move out there to get a nicer house, nice neighborhood, blah blah. I was the only kid of my color out of the neighborhood. But you know what happened? They only saw color, but then they saw me, and then they show me respect. That's what I'm saying. When my mother and father told me, my mother hated violence. My dad, I don't know if he's right on it, but yeah, he'll beat your ass in a minute. You got time to argue, like, you're wrong, bam. He went to fist real quick. So I said, you protect yourself. Because the worst fear I had? He said, if you get in a fight in school, I don't care whose fault it was. Your fault, his fault, or the other person's fault.
He better win.
Because if you get home and I found you got your ass kicked, guess what? you got another ass kicking coming.
Mm.
That's what you taught me. That's why I never backed up from a fight.
Because mentally you knew it was worse at home. You like, man, I could rock with bro. Oh, bro, he's my side. But
I know how big they were. I ain't losing that fight. It could be a draw. It could be a tie. But you're gonna know you're in a fight because I can't go home, man, and get my ass kicked.
Fight hard.
That means I'm gonna get my ass kicked again. Then I'll be on a punishment for a week, a month.
Yeah.
No. I got things to do this weekend. I'm not dealing with that.
You got a brother. He get beat up. Talking about, well, what did you do? Like,
no, I was the only child. So
Yeah.
you say what the point of the story was. I was in elementary school, started the 2nd grade to the 6th grade. I had 17 fights.
Who was getting it in?
I had no choice. They said that one word that ticked me off, that N word. And they didn't say it like they said now. They said like they really was supposed to be said.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So, that's like trigger. So, out of 17 fights, guess how many I won and lost? I was 16-0-1. Had a draw with one guy because he was my best friend. I really want to fight him. I had no choice. So we just said, fall for the statue. Like, I'm trying to quit the fight, but he still want to fight. But then, anyway, that's another story. But so I refused to lose the fight because I refused to get the punishment from the family when I get home. You got to fight for yours.
Yeah, I remember losing a fight that where it was somebody that it was something crazy that didn't even happen, but we, me and the dude were cool, and he was way more angry than I was. You know what I'm saying? So like it was one of them things, like it happened like that.
Yeah, I kept count. I had to get count because that was the turning point in my life.
Yeah,
and now I still learn a lot. I'm still going by that. That's a life lesson that don't give up, because if you give up, the consequences, if you do give up, might be worse than what really happened.
Yeah,
that's why I kept count, because I never forget that.
Get off first. Get off first, because I wasn't the best looking person, and I'm not Denzel Washington, so I can't afford.
Man.
I can't afford. I can't afford to have my face. My face.
Get out of here! What? Get out of here,
man. I had to tee off first because I can, I couldn't get my face rearranged too much more. No, but yeah, Chris,
even a black guy said like shit. Shut up.
Yeah, he's like, what you saying? No, huh? What up, bro? All right, so Chris, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
We can do anything you want, man. Just give me a heads up. Warn a shot. I'm on. I had nothing to do all day. Sit here and do nothing.
But so let's put together. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow, but let's put together something for like either you could bring your players that like a wish list, if you will, for the draft. Just it can be 10, whatever, 20, whatever.
Okay.
And then I'll build the same, and then we'll bring something together tomorrow.
You're on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So what time you think? Because like I said, I ain't got nothing to do. What time you want to do this?
We could do morning. We could do morning. We could. Is morning better for you, or you like the nights?
Oh, I like after 10 o'clock. I'm fine. That's time I wake, because like I get up early, but you don't want to see me early in the morning.
Yeah. See, at this show, I was still waking up. I didn't even do coffee. That's what's crazy. I knew something was missing. I was like, there's something missing. But yeah. But thank you.
I was gonna say, look at the cat. I would do something in the bag, like boy, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he's like, put the food in my bowl, man.
You take too long. I give you time. It's time to do it.
That's the only time he comes and talks to me is when he wants food.
You want to say about 10 o'clock? I'm good with 10. I'm fine with 10.
Let's do 10. 10 it is.
All right, so we're set up for tomorrow, 10 o'clock. I'm good with that.
Yes, sir.
And don't forget tonight. I don't want to podcast too much. Don't forget tonight we have me and Jeff had that show tonight called Last Call. You can step in if you like.
Definitely. So
we can talk about Raider history and all that stuff. So we're doing that tonight. Coffee required before anything else.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Let me know.
Yeah, so it'll be on tonight, 6 o'clock our time tonight, and tomorrow 10 o'clock. I'll be ready. I'm cool with it. We can talk football. We can talk about anything. We can talk about the the state of the nation, because ain't nothing going on.
Yeah, that's why I don't like doing those. I mean, I would love to come on here every day and just talk, spin the wheels about nothing, but there's nothing really going on. And I'm not gonna sit here and just waste y'all time because you could be somewhere else. You could be with your family, you can be doing something else instead of, I appreciate the support, but I mean there's other places when there's nothing going on. There's nothing.
I like it like that.
Yeah.
They say news, good news.
Mhm.
There's no drama. There's no bullshit. People are talking about Gino's contract was extension.
Yeah,
extend them.
Hey, we fishing for drama. Hey, we're like, what's going on with Gino?
Man? The Raiders, if you know, it's the Raiders always the biggest item in the news. We were the worst team one of the worst team. I don't care. We were the worst team last year, but yeah, we was all news all year round.
Yeah,
we're always in the news because if the Raiders do good, we're not in the news. If they do bad, suck. So we're always in the news.
Yeah.
So no news. They people they trying to find something. Oh, did you hear? Oh, Chase, did you hear that janitor had an affair with the secretary upstairs on the 3rd floor? Did you hear about that in the Raider building?
Be like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's got you looking for anything to get out there.
Yeah, and that is a good point because no news actually for us is good news.
Yeah, because we have so much in the news cycle, it's ridiculous. But anyway, hey, Raider Nation guys, fans, Jason, I salute you, brother. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Let's get set up. I'll be ready. I'll be ready about 9. But yeah, let's get started at 10 o'clock.
For sure. And I will have coffee tomorrow. I promise.
I drink a special blend coffee. Nobody drinks it like I do.
Okay, I heard that.
You want to know what it is?
That damn. I'm gonna say damn, why am I blanking on it?
You don't know.
Taster's Choice.
No.
Oh damn, all right.
Oh yeah, it's a special blend coffee I drink in the morning.
Special blend. Jack. No, that's the Jack.
Hey, there it is. You said it. There it is. Jack and any coffee. I don't care if it's Folgers or whatever they got. Maxwell House. It's Jack and any coffee.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we about to get off, Jeff.
I know.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Well, shit. If Jeff, Jeff will probably hop on at some point, and then I'm about
to get off. I don't know about Jeff. I don't know about Jason.
Yeah, I'm about to.
All night gets butt kicked in Madden on Technical.
I know. I seen you being on the stream. I've been watching too, because I might send that challenge. This Madden is crazy though. I really don't like the play of this Madden, but I just have to get used to it and then get better. But I'm not as good as I want to be right now.
I ain't played Madden since 16. That was the worst Madden game that ever came out. The worst one. It was so many glitches and bombs. And after that, I just stopped playing Madden. I play NCAA. I have that.
I play that more. I like the gameplay of that one.
I'm glad they brought it back. I'm glad they brought back NCAA because I used to like it back in the day. And then, what happened, right? Those players, the O'Bannon brothers from UCLA, try to sue EA for using their likeness, and they got paid $15 for the lawsuit. Like, it is. EA said, no more. We're not doing no more.
Like, I have Undisputed too, which is the box, but it was kind of like, I used to like Fight Night. And Undisputed is kind of not as fast. It's not as, but maybe, I don't know. I'll get used to
round 4. I like round 3 better.
what was the one with, was it Pacquiao? The one with Mayweather and Pacquiao?
That was round 4.
Yeah, I like 4.
Yeah, I like 3 better.
Yeah, 3 was cool. I like the counters. The counters were sick. I like the reactions.
Yeah, that was the last one I did. Round 4 was the last one. I was like, once y'all coming up, then I tried. I also get the Undisputed, but I watched the videos. I'm like, paid $89 for this game.
Yeah, it's slow as hell. Like, it doesn't have the same, because that's what was cool about the counters. You could whap and pow. Like, but this one is kind of just, I don't know. It's just not the same. I
like how you can build your fighter up, but then, I like the way they do it. But what they did it was, you get speed, southpaw, and all that stuff. So, I picked a certain way I fought. I was a right-hander that fought the southpaw stance with speed and power built up. and I was beating everybody. The only class I couldn't win was that lightweight class. I could not win that lightweight class for nothing. I guess I picked too much into power instead of speed. But yeah, ass kick. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna bring something. I'll bring something else. I'm gonna keep talking, but I gotta go.
No, it's all good. I appreciate everybody,
easy,
man. Appreciate you too, Chris, man. Appreciate it. And I will see you guys later. Thank you guys for tuning in. All you guys appreciate Raider Nation. And we out.
Out.
Yeah.